to Happy Jacks RPG. I'm Jason, and we are doing a sort of experimental playtest of the Powered by the Apocalypse hack that I've been writing called Demigods. I'll tell you more about that in a second. We have players starting here.
Hey guys, I'm Nick. I'm sometimes on the show with, was previously on Riffs with Indiana Rex, and will be coming up on Insert Coin, and I'm also in Razor Ridge as Chen Su.
Awesome. And what playbook are you using today?
Oh, today I am using the playbook of the Artisan. I intend on playing a son of Hephaestus, the Greek god of smiths.
And Adam?
Hi, I'm Adam. You can see me running Interpol X on Happy Jacks RPG on alternating Monday nights. Normally we would be playing Interpol X tonight, but we had a lot of out-of-towners and things because of the holiday, and we were all terrified of Pasadena traffic. But otherwise, in 2 weeks, I'll be running Interpol X again, our Monster of the Week PBtA, or actual play. I am going to play the warrior. I do not know what Pantheon or deity or anything like that yet, but I will figure that out in a moment.
And Matt?
Is there...
yeah, your camera's there.
Okay,
yep.
Cool. Hi, I am Matt Gardner. I have... this is my first time doing anything with Happy Jacks.
Welcome.
Thank you. Not really regular on any gaming podcasts at the moment. I am a writer. I write a young adult cosmic horror graphic novel.
Ooh, awesome.
And it's Alabaster Shadows. I'm working on the sequel right now.
Cool.
So, and I am going to be playing the Celestial. I'm also not quite sure which Pantheon I'm going to be going with. I've got kind of affinity towards Greek because that's just kind of what I grew up reading. But we'll see where that goes.
Jason, have you had a play test yet where everybody played the same Pantheon?
Not yet. No.
That might work because I love the Greeks too. So
yeah.
So maybe we'll all end up doing that.
Yeah, there's a lot of room there. So I'll just jump in with a little bit of how this game works. Folks following along at home, there's a bunch of other playbooks. I'm not going to dive into that. We've got our 4-hour block tonight, and we'll just focus the story on these three weirdos. And a little bit about the world of demigods. One, all of the gods are real. If you've heard of a god, it's real. And that makes for a very interesting setting, I think. I think it's going to be fun. And in the world of demigods, the gods exist because humans believe in them, and they have caused them to come into existence. And thousands of years of belief has solidified their state, and now we live sort of in tandem with the gods. The gods also are not able to regularly come and visit humanity. They are so powerful and so imbued with humanity's imagination that reality bends around gods when they come to visit the Earth, and it's very inconvenient for them to do so. Everything starts going wonky around them, so the gods need agents to, exert their will to some extent on the earthly plane. And a lot of times that takes the form of their children, their demigods. And so occasionally a god could immortalify themselves, which I'm pretty sure is a technical term. And they could sort of, squish themselves down into a tiny little living space and go around as immortal for a little while. This often ends up... They may have some romancy times with a human. That's one way demigods come about. Other gods who are not interested in the boom boom they can sort of spiritually adopt someone as their divine successor. They can maybe shape someone out of clay and breathe life into them and set them loose to be raised with the humans. But from the gods' point of view, it's just helpful that there's someone on Earth that can be an agent that they can hopefully. Now, as we know, all children love doing what their parents tell them to do.
Yeah.
So that always goes exactly according to plan. Now, one of the things that's unique to the world that I'm building is the addition of one Pantheon that I've never seen an example of. I don't know if it's the first one ever, but I've included the Pantheon of Science, which is largely based around the idea that, so all the pantheons of gods exist because people believed in them, right? Not because they knew for a fact that these gods existed, but that they believed these gods existed and that they explained certain things about the natural world around them. My mythos for the science pantheon. Oh yeah, can you pull the door shut for us?
Oh.
Yeah, just watch your microphone. The mythos of the science pantheon is that there are a lot of people who know for sure and believe that science is true and accurate and right, but they don't personally know why. They don't understand calculus or physics or astronomy, but they're sure that the scientists who do understand those things are correct. So they have imbued their belief into these ideas, and that pantheon has a number of gods associated with it. So those gods resent their own existence. They firmly believe that they should not exist.
Yes.
Because they don't believe in the supernatural, and yet they cannot deny the evidence of their senses and their own existence.
Yeah.
So they are inconvenienced by this, and
Psychology god is like, I told you.
yeah, I told you this would happen.
That's what I told you.
Look what you did. I'm trying to find my list of the Pantheon. Before I read off the list of the science gods, though, one of the things about demigods is, as we've talked about, the child is not always obedient to the parent. If you want to play, for instance, the son of Hephaestus, who is also an artisan, that's great. You may also want to play an artisan who's the son of Ares and is greatly disappointing his father by build things. What? Break things. That's what we do.
We're break things people.
So that is in this setting, your playbook does not have to mimic or idolize the divine parent. So if you have the son of Aphrodite, does not have to be some smooth criminal. Could be a head thumping thug whose mom happens to be Aphrodite.
Yeah.
All right. So the parent, the divine parent, is sort of more of a color commentary than anything. It's and maybe creating awkward relationships, which is really what Powered by the Apocalypse is all about, or at least in my opinion.
Yes.
Those are the best parts. Let's see. I have my science pantheon here, just in case anyone's interested. Physics is our god of war. Math is our god of justice, right and wrong. They are nominally the reaper of that pantheon. Chemistry is our god of transmutation, magic, change. Kind of your witchy god. Biology is our god of fertility, life, that sort of thing. Astronomy is the god of augury, perception, predicting the future, all that. Earth science is our elemental god, and elemental is one of the playbooks you can use that covers a lot of ground. And sky and fire and lightning.
I see what you did there.
Engineering is the god of builders and makers, the artisan in that sense. Quantum is our trickster god. And
Love it.
Behavioral science is our muse, which would be, a lot of people would describe as like the lover. but behavioral science is the two-faced god of psychology and psychiatry, and has created some problems in the past. So, yeah, getting quantum and behavioral science in a room together is that's most of a party right there.
Right, yeah. This is going to go well.
So, for my own benefit, I have a little bit of a script I've been working on for like new GMs to pick up my game and try to run with it. I'm going to kind of try to do the fast version of my script, and then we can go through your character creation stuff, which is kind of what we're getting into here. Blah, 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 blah. Right, well, selecting a playbook. I think I just used this example. The son of Aphrodite might be on his way to being a new god of love, or may just as well pursue the path of the elemental or the warrior. He's still the son of Aphrodite, imbued with her power, and it's very likely to pursue his path with charisma and ambition, but that is entirely up to the player in question. The Divine Parent is foremost color commentary on where the character comes from and how they may relate to their pantheon, but it doesn't shape how the character must be played. And so also there's this sort of assumed arc that the trajectory of a demigod is that they are discovering their power early in the game, developing their abilities as they go on, and that eventually when they become too powerful to be productive amongst humanity, they'll ascend to take a place in their pantheon, right, in their parents' pantheon. Although we...
That's going to be really interesting for all the scions of the modern gods to take a place in that pantheon with these gods that basically hate them.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that is... Yeah. You have to know, like, behavioral science is out there just making babies, right? Maybe biology as well.
Right, yeah.
And the other gods are like, please, no
stop.
more,
God,
please.
no.
This is bad enough.
Study this.
It's bad enough. Please stop. So that's kind of the big picture of all this. Of course, your characters are coming at this from the point of view of like, there's something about your life up to the point of our story where your character is an adult, right? Maybe late teens or to whatever point of adulthood they really become fully cognizant of their abilities, but they're they, even when they weren't really aware of what they are as a demigod, there's been something in your life that's been some sort of charm, your luck, your something that always kind of made sense or worked for you. Like in my real life, I can always find a parking space, right? That's like my superpower. So
nice.
That's if I were to suddenly find out I'm actually a demigod, it maybe I would fall into the
god of parking,
the muse, the parking god, something like that.
A subset of the transportation.
Right,
Yes,
right,
yeah.
whatever that happens to be. But so you'll want to be thinking about that part of your backstory where there's something that was just always worked or was always weird, right? It didn't have to be like a good thing or a beneficial thing, but then as the full nature of your existence is revealed to you at some point, a messenger or your divine parent themselves might reveal themselves to you and have a conversation and say, hey, guess what? This is what's up. So the playbooks are all going to have stuff we can tie in together. The characters will eventually have some tied-in backstory. So the thing you're working on, there's a degree to which your characters have some individual backstory before your character met the rest of these characters. Then there's going to be kind of a central character who it turns out all three of you knew incidentally and sort of brings everything together. We'll get into that in detail. But you'll want to think about where did your character come from? So we're going to be in Los Angeles with some, supernatural, magical realism setting. most people in the world aren't aware that the supernatural stuff is real, or at least not so blatantly real. And there are maybe a dozen demigod level people in the whole world. Okay? So when one demigod goes and interacts with people, there's the little ripples in fate, and they're sort of pushing against maybe what fate thinks should happen. When two demigods hang out, there's a little bit of a warping, right? When you get 3 or 4 or 5, you create basically the basis for the stories told in this game. Is somehow your fates have been tied together. Normally, demigods keep their distance from each other, partly because their divine, their pantheon wants somebody who can operate independently in the world and do things that they want them to do. And when you get tied into the lives of other demigods, you're almost literally tied in together. So
it's like Hancock, but it makes sense.
Is that right? I don't. Hancock the movie.
Yeah, I got you.
So is that the Will Smith movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which for the record, I love. I think it's a wonderful movie. But there's like a serious logic flaw in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I don't think I've seen it.
Oh, it's actually. I think it's fantastic.
I mean, I know I've seen pieces of it, but I never sat down and watched it.
Yeah.
It reminds me of there's a game called Anomine where you play angels
right,
or demons,
yeah.
and every angel and demon has kind of a core of what their being is according to the universe, and whenever they act against that, or whenever they do something that disrupts the natural order, it creates a noise that other celestials or infernals can hear, and so home in on or change the plan.
Pretty accurate metaphor for this.
Yeah.
That's definitely what's going on. Although we don't have necessarily a mechanical way to measure that, but that's kind of what your storyteller would be looking for here. Okay, well, let's jump into scoring your attributes. That's just on the inside page there. The attributes are they're listed there on your playbook in the top left, and there is a kind of a suggested array of those. Whether you may just want to go with the suggested array of the numbers to put down. Either way, you're going to have a +2, a +1, 2 +0s, and a -1. In my playtesting, I found these suggested arrays worked pretty well. You're going to start with those numbers, and then once those 5 numbers are written in, you can add 1 to one of those numbers, if that makes sense. And I'll just read through and actually
I can show you on mine if you want. So I have prowess +2. And then I added my +1 to courage. So instead of a +0 in the standard array, I have a +1. Then awe +1, judgment +0, word -1.
Yeah.
Is it word or weird?
I usually say weird. But
Weird.
Well, why don't I run through and describe what all these attributes do and why you might want to be good at them. And so these numbers are represented. You roll 2 dice, add up the 2 dice, add your attribute bonus to it, and that'll tell us whether you were able to accomplish your thing. A total of 2 to 6 is a failure, and that means I get to do something as the GM. A 7 to 9 is sort of a shitty success. Like you basically did what you set out to do, but not all the way. And then a 10 or better is just an unqualified success. You did it. You win. Set off the confetti cannon. You loaded the grocery bag correctly without crushing the eggs at the bottom. Okay, so characters in Demigods have 5 attributes: prowess, courage, awe, judgment, and weird. Prowess measures your fighting ability. Courage is grace under fire, and I don't want it to be conflated with the idea of bravery in that sense, right? Like you could have a low courage and still be a brave character. You're just someone who gets rattled easily. I'm probably going to change the language in that. Oh, by the way, dear listener, you'll hear a bunch of times, this is still in playtest, there's going to be lots of things where somebody says, hey, what does this do? I go, I don't know. I don't know what it does yet.
It's kind of a placeholder for what we do later.
So that's going to happen a lot, and if you don't like that, I guess, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Hug yourself real good. Awe is one's force of personality. You're maybe like a charisma stat. Judgment is a measure of your awareness of people and surroundings. So it's kind of a perception-ish score. And then weird is how magic-y you are. How it measures one's aptitude towards manipulating magic and the threads of fate. Attributes range from -2 to +3. No attribute can go higher or lower than those numbers, and no combination of bonuses can ever give a single roll more than +4. All right, so even if you have a +3 in something and you're supposed to get +2 from something else, it's caps at +4 because otherwise the whole mechanic of the game breaks.
Right.
That's just all Powered by the Apocalypse works that way. Blah, blah, blah. Starting array is +2, +1, +0, +0, -1. Not necessarily in that order. So there's a suggested array to, I think, bump up the stats that'll be of most use to you. But, for instance, you can put the numbers wherever you like, regardless of the playbook you've chosen. You want to play a brawny, brawling demigod of love, go for it. Likewise,
the god of tough love.
If you want to play the warrior with a mind like a diamond, knock yourself out. High five Artemis and Freya all the way to the halls of legend.
That's right.
So, does everyone have their attributes all statted out?
I'm ready.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And everyone added in their +1?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I swapped 2 on the array and then added 1 to it.
All right.
So that should be good.
Great. Okay, so then the next thing on my list is to think about your background before we do anything with your moves and other stuff, because sometimes that kind of feeds in. So the background on the back of the character sheet is where it belongs. No, I don't know why I said that. I mean, they would call it front ground if it goes on the front of your character sheet, right? Isn't that how that
logical?
Yeah. So, some things to think about here. Where did your character come from? What was your mortal family like? What was growing up with them like? What was that little thing in your childhood that was always a little bit weird, right? Before you really fully understood your supernatural nature. So part of your backstory is the divine parent. Are you adopted? Are you cast down, a bio birth, magical means, supernatural birth? I'll talk about what those mean a little bit. Adopted, easy peasy, right? A god went, oh, this baby, I like it. It is now related to me, right? Imbued with the divinity. Cast down is kind of a fun option if you're really feeling it. That's literally like one of the named gods that you've heard of ticked off their pantheon so badly that the other gods went, we are wrapping you, we are immortalifying you and sending you down to earth to figure your shit out.
Oh, okay, cool.
You are going to be mortal for a little while and you're going to deal with it.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you could literally play one of the named gods who has been punished into this,
Fun.
much reduced form and is trying to figure their way through life. Biological birth is, the god came down and did it with a mortal and made a baby. Magical means could be you're a regular human who has uncovered so many secrets from your weird research and conspiracy theory following and, every other thing that you have somehow amassed, through witchcraft or wizardly research or whatever it is you've done. You've somehow developed a significant magical presence that it is akin to being a demigod, and you've gotten one of the attention of one of the pantheons who said, "Hey, you're a significant presence in the world. what would you think about joining our team? Right?
Just the way you're talking about that made me go, oh, the god of conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, there's probably going to wind up a pantheon of media
Sure.
at some point. Radio, TV, internet, and who knows where that's going to go. But that's still. I think what's his name? American Gods. Oh my God.
Neil
Gaiman.
Gaiman.
Game. He got a lot of mileage on that. If you want to have that in your game, it's super easy to pick that up and run with it. So on this backstory,
One last one. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Supernatural birth.
Oh yeah, supernatural birth is the sort of leaping from Zeus's forehead sort of thing, or some sort of really bizarre. Perhaps a whale gives birth to a human. Some sort of divine
Baby just found in the
anomalous.
reeds.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, that sort of thing could be part of your background as well. Those are really just meant as examples. If there's some other thing that you want to throw in there, then that's.
I believe it was a whale god who had sex with a mermaid who gave birth to a human.
Yes, that's what happened.
They're hideous, freakish.
Yeah.
Human
What are
baby.
these legs?
No fins, no gills.
You're cast
What
out.
is this child?
It's
Like you've got two legs, two tails, and they've got like feet at the end of them. Ew.
Oh boy. So
Actually, I had a lot of fun with that character.
a couple things you'll want to make note of is the age that you knew you were somehow different from the other kids, maybe not a full understanding, and then the age that you found out officially. That might be the same day, right? You may have sort of blithely gone along your whole life and went, oh yeah, that does make sense now that you explain it to me. Or, maybe as a little kid you realized, you suggested things and people did what you said most of the time. Little things like that.
Can you say something? They were saying your mic is off.
Oh.
It might be positioning. It might be I have the wrong mic unmuted.
Maybe if I move it up here, is that better?
Well, we will soon find out.
Okay. Hopefully it will be clarified very soon.
They will let me in just. There's a delay.
I don't need to just keep rambling and talking and saying
Sure, if you
nonsense
want to do
until they
that.
say something.
Absolutely.
And I hope the chat
What's that?
room
Do
we
speaks
have
up
any
quickly.
water?
There's some stuff in the fridge there. They're
Okay. Yeah, let's
So
do
better?
that.
you can
Okay, cool.
help yourself to
Guess I
whatever's
can't
in
grab
there.
a water.
I think it's mostly flavored waters, but
Would you grab me one and or a beer? Actually, I have water, so just a beer, or if there's something, that's fine. I'm not picky.
other things we'll need to note about our backstories. Were you informed? Were you visited by your divine parent themselves, or did they send some kind of messenger to reveal that? Which also then might lead to how do you feel about your pantheon and therefore your divine parent? Did they, reveal things in a way that made sense to you, or are you jilted and annoyed that they took so long to let you know what was up? All that kind of stuff. And then just a little bit about your mortal parents. And then don't move on past that. The stuff after that we'll want to get to together.
Did you guys decide your pantheon?
I'm still kind of leaning towards Greek.
Okay.
I sort of am as well, but I kind of like the idea of maybe being the son of Ares and being a tremendous disappointment.
Yeah.
That actually sounded like a lot of fun.
I know, right? Yeah.
I wish Hephaestus was my dad.
Yeah. He's like, well, go let Hephaestus be your dad then. Because if
Only
you're
a
both
real-
going to do Greek, then I
Hephaestus
think
wasn't a real god.
Right. If you guys are both going to do Greek, then I think I'll do Greek too, because I think that would be an interesting thing
Okay.
to have everybody in the same pantheon. But if you guys are picking something different from each other, I'll probably do a third.
Chat is saying specifically, PBtA says that you need to be the god of tapestries, or represent the god of tapestries.
God of tapestries.
God of textiles.
Right? Yes.
I'm sure
Yeah,
there is
I'll
a
just,
Greek
I'll
one.
just
They
stand
had
like
one
this
for
the whole
everything.
time, Buddha
Yeah.
Yes.
Isn't that just one of
Or
Apollo's
the,
many, many,
the god
many
of
jobs?
the god of writing, perhaps the
The
god
god
of
of-
signing one's name. Is that a possible?
And his name could be Otto.
Yeah.
Graph.
Yeah, something like that. Classic moments from Interpol X.
Yes, yes. Interpol X, tune in alternating Mondays on Happy Jack's RPG.
And since you're already tuning on Mondays, tune in for Insert Coin. Opposite Monday.
Yep.
Oh, cool. Is that that's the new one?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
So
okay.
basically, I'm here every
Tales from the
Monday.
Loop.
Oh, I
And-
love that.
Yeah.
Wait, you
Ooh,
get to be in the Tales from the Loop game, and I
Yeah.
don't?
Yeah, but I'm better than you. Just as a person. I don't,
True.
no offense, but like,
I'm a terrible person.
yeah.
It's true.
So, it just makes sense. Okay.
Okay. All right. I am going to let's go Greek. Let's go Greek.
Once you go Greek, you never.
Become a
You're
freak.
totally a geek.
Yeah.
There you
You're
go.
totally chic.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm thinking it's a warrior. I have to say, I'm. If anybody in the chat room has any suggestions, not the god of tapestries, any suggestions for a warrior concept, I'll entertain ideas.
Do you want to be Hephaestus's warlike son?
That would be kind of awesome, actually. Yeah. Yeah. Festus is mad because all I do is get in fights. Worst.
I had one play test where somebody had, I think they were the daughter of Thor,
Yeah. I think.
but Loki had manipulated things so that everyone thought she was Loki's daughter.
Yeah.
And when the truth came out, there was a little bit of drama around that.
Yeah. Right? Yeah.
But the logic behind the backstory was that like Thor's got to make a lot of babies.
Right? Yeah.
he's going down to Earth as much as physically possible, and
dude's a player.
yeah,
I mean, come
doing
on.
that. Oh, and so also to that, when I'm saying there's like 12 or 15 demigods in the there are that many demigods who really have like a significant level of magical, supernatural ability. There are loads of mortal children of the gods, but those kids never really
They
got
may or may not have any actual influence.
Yeah.
So is it like a conservation of divine energy? So in one of the players, let's say, ascends, that has freed up enough that another one sort of comes up? Or?
Yeah, I mean that could be part of it. It could be that from a game balance point of view, it would be horrifying if there were hundreds of demigods running around.
At that point, you're running a supers game.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And of course, all our superhero stories came from our mythologies, which is kind of fun, circular. Yeah, I love all that stuff. Okay, so now that you're percolating on your backstories, maybe a little bit of that'll come up as we go. Let's go all the way back to the front page.
All right.
One of the first things on there, right after your name, is the section for gifts. There are 8 things listed there. You get to pick 3 of them. Most of the time, if the name, if it makes sense to you, it does probably exactly what it says it is. But if you're not sure, I'll explain it for you. Or I'll say, I don't know what that does.
Now, on one of these, I have steed. Can I make that like a motorcycle?
Absolutely.
Great.
Yeah. I think especially for a Hephaestus
Yeah.
offshoot. Absolutely.
So what would augury entail?
The ability to see the future.
Okay.
And it would just mean... So the Celestial already kind of has some moves that help with that. And if you have the augury gift, the gift of augury, then you are exceptionally good at predicting and telling the future. There are several moves when we get to the moves section that are... the moves have their basic effect, but then they also have the... If you take this move and you have X gift, then you get this additional little tweak to that move. So you don't have to have the gift to take that move, but if you do, there's a little twist on it. So
Cool.
You get 3 of these gifts to start, and once you pick that, we'll just sort of read them off and talk about what they do a little bit, and then talk about our feelings. Never that. Also on the front page is the Ascendance move. This all of the characters. That's a thing you'll get to use once or maybe twice in the entire life of the character, and you won't get to use it tonight because you don't have enough XP to buy it. But when you unlock it, that's the thing that it does. So it might give you a little. We'll read those off in a minute, just to give a sense. And then also on the front page is your character's death move. This is the thing you can do while you're dead. Mythology stories go in and out of afterlives and underworlds and underlives and afterworlds every which way. I love stories that include stuff like that. And if a character dies in Demigods, the group, which is called your woven band, your party, your woven band has a week to try and retrieve your fellow's essence from their particular underworld before they are officially gone forever, assuming they want to be retrieved. So most of them is off in their afterlife. A portion of their shade remains with the party and can sort of aid in retrieving their self. So, what gifts have we got?
I think I'm going to take Epic Armor,
Yeah.
Epic Tools, and Steed.
Awesome.
I think I'm going with, for the Celestial, Determine Guilt, Psychometry, and Epic Ranged Weapon.
Excellent.
It's
So
very,
kind of the sniper route then.
a bit, yeah. A very
Yeah.
judgy sniper.
Yeah. Yeah, the Celestial, there's several ways to build all these characters. The Celestial is one that can go kind of the hunter, sniper.
No stripes and patterns!
Yeah. Exactly.
It's after Labor Day!
How dare you?
The fashions change. No, they don't.
I have determined your guilt!
So yeah.
In that
that's,
vein, it was also mentioned that perhaps the god of kilts,
The god of kilts.
related to the god of kilts, instead of tapestries.
Oh,
extent.
right. Have you had to inspect the tapestries?
Okay.
And
I
your
chose
gifts?
Circlet of Command, Divine Might, and Flight.
Okay.
Basically playing a superhero, because
Yeah.
that's what I do.
Yeah, that's what that sounds like.
Yeah.
So the okay, so none of us have have epic weapons. Is that right?
Oh, I've got an Epic Ranged
Oh,
Weapon.
you've got an epic ranged weapon. Okay, good.
I thought about taking a weapon instead of Divine Might, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to do the just like pound him in the face
Sure.
fighter or the
Just so
Slash him.
everyone has a good context for choosing stuff like that. Everyone has 7 health. Like punching somebody or stabbing them with a smallish weapon is going to do 1 harm. Shooting like regular guns do 2 harm. Heavy weapons, heavy guns will do 3 harm. Epic weapons do 4 harm in one go, and then sometimes there's ways to juice that up as well. So just so you have a sense, that's kind of what we're talking about. Epic weapons can do a lot. If you have epic armor just soaks 2 harm. Regular sort of police body armor would soak 1 harm. So if I'm saying you take 3 harm from the griffin that's trying to bite your head off, and you have epic armor on, you just subtract 2 from that 3, take 1 instead. So.
Cool.
It's pretty straightforward as far as that goes. Let's go around and read our Ascendance and Death moves. Remember, Ascendance we won't get to tonight because we don't have those unlocked. Death move, who knows what'll happen? The night is young.
Death is but a new address.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I have my Ascendance is the disparate pieces of the world slide together and everything finally makes sense. Change something in an object, something big or small, but the object will never be the same. Describe how. This can also be used to craft an epic weapon or epic armor for you or someone else.
All right, that's a new object in the world. That's the artisan. And the artisan's death move.
The death move is, while you are dead, your shade in the mortal world is capable of manipulating simple machines. Roll 2d6 plus courage to trip locks, start a car, flip the lights, jam a gun, or other gremlin-like effects.
Matt.
All right. So the Celestial's Ascendance move. Time slows down for you as every thread spools out before you. Step calmly through mayhem, predicting every twitch and gust of wind to set things back on the course you've determined is correct.
And
Okay.
what can you do while you're dead?
While I am dead, the veil is truly torn back from my senses. My shade in the mortal world treats a read the weave miss as a 7 or 9, and a 7 or 9 is a 10. So basically, each result gets boosted to the next level.
And cannot fail
Yeah.
at reading the weave.
So what if I roll past a 10?
Well, there really isn't.
It's not double plus good.
Yeah.
You may also ask an additional question from the list. Ooh.
And Adam.
For the warrior, like a chess master, every aspect and strategy of the current battle unfolds before you, and you find a way to turn the tide. One way or the other, the day is won. Describe how. And death move is, while you are dead, your shade in the mortal world is able to lend its prowess to members of your woven band. With a successful help someone roll, you may add your prowess stat to someone else's for one move with the standard maximum of +4 to any single roll. So, like, your spirit kind of inhabits them and, like, I can fight.
Increase their fighting ability temporarily.
Don't lock your wrists.
And then on the back of these, all the way to the back again, moves we'll pick last. So we'll just leave that alone for now. In the thread-bound section, does everyone see that? So threads are what we call XP in this game. If you can manage to save up 5, you can purchase an advancement, which is like unlock one of your moves, get another gift, take a move from another playbook. You could start mixing and matching, really kind of making your own deity. But occasionally in Demigods it's hard to get to 5 because you can also spend threads one at a time as you go. You can spend them to add a die to a roll. So normally we only roll 2 dice. If you do that, if you purchase advantage in this game, you roll 3 dice and take the 2 higher ones. So that can be a big advantage.
And that's just a one-time. You can't spend multiple threads to get multiple dice.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. You can spend a thread on like one thread per situation, basically.
Okay.
You can spend a thread to add a significant detail to a scene. In Powered by the Apocalypse, it's all sort of shared narrative anyway. If you're in a firehouse, fire department, and you're like, oh, I want to grab the fire extinguisher off the wall, like, yeah, there's probably a fire extinguisher there. But if you're in, I don't know where there would not be a fire extinguisher.
Just on the beach.
Yeah, if you're on the beach, you're like, oh, I'm gonna grab that fire extinguisher I saw by the palm tree. I'd be like, I think we're gonna need a thread for that fire extinguisher to be there.
Right.
That doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah, great example. You can also spend a thread to just straight up ignore 2 harm coming in. All right, and that could be 2 harm out of more. So you've got 5 harm coming in. You can ignore 2 of it. And that is an example. You can actually spend multiple threads in one go if you want. It's just going to slow down your ability to buy advancements, which are kind of super cool. Then gaining threads, there's 2 ways everybody can gain threads. If you roll doubles on your dice, you get a thread. Every time you roll doubles, anytime you roll doubles, even if it's a failure, like you roll 2 2s, and you failed your roll, you still get a thread on top of this terrible thing that's about to happen to you. And doing something epic will get you a thread. And that is just entirely up to me, and I am capricious. So, sorry.
Just like the gods.
Yeah. Yep. That was just kind of a shitty way to do it. You'll probably never get one that way. No, that's not true. Then there are 4 ways that you can get threads that are unique to your playbook. And let's go read those off.
Sure. So as an artisan, I have make something significant, break something you shouldn't, explain how a device works, or fail a roll.
For the Celestial, they can gain a thread by presenting new insight or perspective, track someone down, reveal a lie, or pass judgment on someone.
For the Warrior, it's start a fight, finish a fight, mansplain a battle strategy. Actually, just explain a battle strategy. Make an aggressive display. Yeah. So, Podammer.
Stop warrior-splaining everything.
Right, stop warrior-splaining. Yeah.
The 4 unique ones, you can ping each one of those basically once per game session. So you can't just go around starting fights. Just start 8 fights and get threads for them. You can start all the fights if you want, but you're only getting 1 thread for it.
The McDonald's clerk takes my order. I start a fight.
Like, why?
No, I don't want fries.
I wanted a double quarter pounder.
And then also you would.
I'll show you a quarter pounder.
Oh God!
Ask
Nailed
me if
it.
I'm proud of myself, Jason.
Are you proud of yourself?
Actually, no. A little bit ashamed.
Yeah, I am.
You know,
also
you know the thing about low-hanging fruit? It's still fruit.
That's right. That's right.
It's still fruity.
What did you call me?
What? And then also you would gain threads like at the end of an adventure or at the end of a session you'd get a thread or a couple threads if you guys did something really awesome as a group. So that's kind of part of it that goes into this. So with all that kind of helping outline how your playbook works, why don't you have a look through your moves? These ones we're not going to just read them all off because there's a whole bunch of stuff in there. But find 3 moves that work for you and mark those. Note whether you have the gift associated with that. Not all moves are tweaked with gifts, but should be careful not to say gifts. We're not talking about animated images here.
So I have mine picked, I think.
Okay.
So I have Great Vengeance.
Okay.
I roll 2d6 plus prowess to retaliate against an attack made against you or someone under your protection. On a hit, take 1 harm and deal your weapon's harm plus 2 to the opponent. On a 10.
Let's just read the titles off because there's a whole bunch of stuff here.
Gotcha. Okay. Then I also have Incredible Move. Lets me move stuff and damage things. And then Incite Violence, where it can basically compel someone to focus on me.
Oh yeah, and that benefits from the circlet of command, right?
Which I have, yeah.
Okay, cool.
I had a question actually about one of mine here. One of the moves on the Artisan is Skilled, and it says list 3 skill sets where you will receive a +1 when rolling courage.
So the skill sets there would be like when you see skill categories in other RPGs, or it's like mechanics or biology or chemistry or so a relatively broad spectrum of thing like mechanical, like machines, fixing machines, building machines, things like that, or an artistic skill set, or because the artisan is also can be like the sort of artist side of things. There's lots of ways to build that out.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, if you take that one, you pick 3 things, and when you're trying to do something with those 3, you get a bonus to your roll because you're super practiced at that. Yeah.
Okay.
By
Just
the way,
debating between 2.
I switched to Epic Weapon instead of Divine Might.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
because Epic Weapons are epic.
They are epic. Yeah. Literally. Literally.
Literally.
Matt, you still making up your mind?
Yeah, I'm going with Tracker and One Shot. I'm still kind of debating on my third one. Either Long View or Dire Warning, which is kind of an intimidation one.
I think I've made my choice here. So I have Zoom and Enhance, which lets me temporarily boost the effectiveness of someone's epic item. And it does work with my gifted, one of the gifts that I took, which was Epic Tools. So I get to treat 7 through 9 as a 10+. I have Ghost in the Machine, which allows me to touch an object and understand how it works. That'll understand will fade from me, but on a temporary basis, I automatically know how to make things function. And lastly, I have Workshop, which means I have a dedicated workshop space that has some advantages and some disadvantages that are associated with it, which I'll work on right now.
Cool.
I'm gonna go with the long view.
Okay.
So long view, one shot, and tracker.
Excellent. Cool. Yeah, long view is the one that lets you see a super long distance.
Yeah,
right?
pretty much indefinitely as long as there's a line of sight.
Yeah, as long as it's unobstructed.
Yeah.
That's fun. Okay, cool. So we've gone through. We picked our gifts. We've got our moves. We've got a little bit into your backstories, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
A little bit, yeah.
All right. So let's switch it up. Adam, why don't you introduce us to your character with the backstory and whatnot?
Okay. I don't have a name yet. His divine parent is Apollo. He was a biobirth. So his Apollo came down and immortalified himself.
Isn't Apollo one of the celibate gods?
No.
No? All right.
No.
I'm confused.
Apollo had
with
lots
someone
of
else.
sex. Lots
Okay.
of sex. So Apollo came down, did the boom boom swish, or swish 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 boom.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Swish boom boom.
Splish splash?
Boom. Oh no, it was boom boom swish. Yeah. Sorry. Inside joke. Sorry. He's kind of in his early 30s, mixed race, black hair, which kind of like stays kind of loose and curly around his head, golden eyes. But he knew he was different around age 6. Found out officially when he was 11. He was told by Aunt Artemis.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Apollo kind of like keeps his distance a little bit.
Aloof.
Yeah, aloof. How do you feel about your Pantheon? Excited, but also a little resentful. Because it's like he can now do really amazing stuff, but it's also kind of like, yeah, but you guys are kind of assholes.
Yeah, what have you done for
And
me lately?
Now I have to deal with all of this extra crap in my life. Mortal parents description, Angela Bassett, essentially, because she is like one of the most beautiful people in the world.
All right.
So,
Got it.
yeah. I don't know what her name or her story is, but
Mainly I need your character's name. That's kind of the first. Otto?
Otto, yeah. I should make it Otto. Just fun.
I'm ready
No.
to write it down.
No, I'm not gonna.
Okay.
Let the past die. I should name him Ben.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, no, do the others now. I'll have a name.
How about Matt?
I don't have a name yet.
Okay.
I am
Haha.
the son of Hera,
Okay.
the goddess of family, intrigue, and disproportionate revenge. I think the idea is that my mortal parent rebuffed a very aggressive swan she did not know was Zeus. Hera was so impressed with this that she granted her a baby anyway.
Like a baby that she actually wanted.
Right, yeah.
Hera wanted it, I guess.
Yeah. That's
With the
awesome.
idea of
So good.
here's someone Hera can use to go after all of the kids of Zeus's that are not hers.
Good job
nice.
not doing it with a goose. Right? Or swan or whatever.
Congratulations, have a baby.
Yeah. Is that the best reward? I don't know.
I don't think Hera cares.
Yeah. The gods are usually not that worried about what we want and what we don't want.
Right.
You know what your home's missing? A baby. What you have to? Well, here's another.
Then you already know what to do.
Nick, what do you got for us so far?
I do have a name. My character's name is Peter Rakoff,
Overachiever.
Rakov. His divine parent is Ares.
Mm-hmm.
He was a biological birth, short and broad with dark hair. Realized he was different in his sort of mid-teens.
Mm-hmm.
Always had an affinity for breaking things down, building things. Really liked to be kind of a maker. Officially found out when he was 23, when he was snatched by minions, assistants of Ares, and given a divine meeting.
Okay.
Where he was informed that it was time to put such childish things as tinkering behind him and take up his father's mantle. He was not really that impressed. Feels, like most people with Ares, very bullied and put upon.
He's such a dick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So he's, as a result, he's somewhat indifferent and put out about the entire Pantheon and experience of it all. I'm still working on...
Was he maybe visited afterwards? Festus like, hey kid, come here.
Yeah, that guy's a real tool, isn't he?
Yeah.
I like that. Like a little bit of there's some subversion going on.
Like, I see what you got going on there. Like, let me show you how to use these tools.
Right. And since they already have that history of hating and undermining each other.
Matt, I forgot to ask if you what age you knew something was going on.
I think he figured out something was going on fairly young because he always would just be able to tell when people are being deceitful or misbehaving. But he probably didn't find out officially until his late teens when Hera shows up and says, "Hey, I'm your mom, your other mom. Here's why I made you. Go do it," without any really concern of whether I was interested.
Yeah.
And she's like, "I'm your mother." It's like, well, no, you're not. Yes, I am.
Sounds like a god.
Don't talk back to your mother.
Okay, I have a name.
Oh my god.
AJ. AJ Knox.
AJ. And Matt, did you have a name picked out?
I think I'm going to go with Leo.
Leo. Okay.
Cool. So, I have kind of an idea because I like this whole play on the who likes who. So so I think when AJ found out, Uncle Ares showed up because
both behind the other's back.
Right, yeah. Because AJ's he's kind of a badass, and he took to fighting really quickly, and and clearly had that warrior spirit.
Drama.
Yeah. So Ares came by and was like, "Yeah, you're a demigod, and your dad's kind of a douchebag, but I'm gonna take care of you." And then Artemis showed up and was like, "Actually, this is the douchebag." So there's this Artemis and Ares both trying to train him, and Ares trying to pull him to the be a douchebag, and Artemis is like, "Don't be a dick."
Yeah.
So
fight smarter, not harder.
Right.
Aim first.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Aim first.
Please just look. Look at what you're doing.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Apollo is like, whatever. It's my kid.
Yeah, I love it.
What's your character's name again, Nick?
Peter.
Peter.
All right, so we've got Leo, the son of Hera, AJ, the son of Apollo, and Peter, the son of Ares, and none of whom are the child their parent was hoping for.
Yes, I love that. Actually,
that's
it's
great.
Fun.
So there's a couple other things we have to do for our backgrounds. One of them is we have to figure out our tangles, which are the ways that you three are sort of connected to each other. But before we do that, we kind of have to know how the three of you came to know each other. Mm-hmm. And we do that by telling the story of your spindle. All right, this is the person who ties the three of you together. It's somebody who all three of you sort of incidentally knew individually, and your lives all came crashing together when your spindle was in trouble at some point. So the spindle essentially becomes my main character to play, and maybe an easy way to think of it is sort of the Rosario Dawson in Defenders, where it's just sort of wait, you know him? Wait, how do you know him? Okay, what is going on? Although Rosario Dawson isn't helpless at all, and your spindle is substantially your spindle is somebody specifically knew nothing about the supernatural world, was just a mortal friend of yours. for whatever reason, however you knew each other. Maybe you've known each other for ages, maybe you're relatively new friends, but you're buddies, right? This is a friend of yours. And then something happened that, the three of you somehow, it's like the end of Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, where everything's sort of coming together at the same time. Your spindle's in trouble. You guys came together and helped them out. So we got to figure out who your spindle is. So lots of ways this can go.
I think, just a couple of things about AJ. Like, I think he was in the military. I think maybe actually like career military. He's until recently. So
he's a little bit older then, or?
No, like early 30s.
Okay.
Like career military, and like at that kind of point where it's like, oh, I should either like get out or I should, become, go career.
Yeah.
I guess. Or maybe that's late 20s. I don't know.
No, that sounds right.
I make up stuff about the military. But yeah, so that's a possibility. Is like somebody that he serves with or has served with.
Okay.
Maybe somebody you guys know.
Possible military connection could be. How about you guys?
I was seeing Peter as being pretty much brand new to this whole thing. So, like, I can adjust stuff if we want, but the age I was thinking was about 23, and he's about 24 now. So he's been living with the knowledge and some of that stuff for only about a year or so.
Sure.
I was kind of thinking maybe some kind of a teacher or guidance counselor. And I don't know if that works. Like, maybe that could be, same school 10 years later, or someone who like recommended, hey, you need the structure and discipline of going to the military, and then for Peter was like, oh, you need to open a shop or do something like that to work with that. I don't know if that worked with other people's ideas.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only thing I was thinking of is just I've apparently got two older siblings, and but it could. I really like the counselor idea.
Or maybe that the counselor is one of your siblings.
Well, if it's a counselor, it'd probably be significantly. It could be my mother.
Oh yeah.
Your mortal mom. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Could be. Absolutely.
Stay away from swans.
Yeah. Right.
That's
For lots of
one
reasons.
of all.
Yeah.
For lots of
things.
reasons.
They
Swans
will
are mean.
foul up
they're
your
awful.
life.
Yeah.
Jen
wah.
Human was saying for Adam, maybe the spindle is a love interest who was the reason for Adam to quit the military.
Oh, yeah.
And
That
then
could be
asking
too.
me who is a teacher for Nick. So I don't know if maybe you want to combine that with the biological mom thing and like have this entire, for me, she was the trusted guidance counselor. She's the woman your character fell in love with and came out of the military for. And for you, it's just, your real mom.
Yeah, or it could be older sister as well.
Or something
Or,
like that.
yeah.
God, I'm not sure which is more fun with that.
What age are you going with?
I'm going like early 20s, I think.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, maybe I should bump down age a little bit. Or,
Yeah,
or
maybe
it
you
could be
just
the
did like
older-
2 tours.
like late.
Came out 28 or something.
Yeah. Which would negate the love interest idea, probably.
Well,
but
I mean, love interest with Leo's mom, but
Yeah,
it could be a
Yeah.
sibling
judge.
or
I mean,
or yeah.
after graduation, maybe,
Sibling opens up gender possibilities as well, as that's
Yeah.
so
Yeah, I do usually play gay characters. So. Or bisexual. Most of my characters are usually bisexual until proven otherwise. That's kind of my general rule.
options open.
Yeah, exactly.
With
yeah.
Apollo involved, I think that's assumed as well.
Yeah,
Right, exactly,
Yeah,
yeah.
Apollo is
So is it maybe it's an older brother instead?
Yeah.
Do,
I don't know.
do we have
Doesn't-
any
doesn't
preference on that?
Maybe it's older brother and we were like best friends in like your older brother and I were best friends
Like
in
in
school.
school.
He became a guidance counselor. I went into the military, and
Okay.
then and then kind of became your guidance counselor.
Okay,
possibly.
and I'll just bump my age back just a little bit to make that
Yeah.
the math work on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe like you went to college with this guy. Maybe maybe he was your college roommate. you know.
Well,
that's
and
not
my
too-
older sibling, like they could have been 10 when I was like.
Oh yeah, that's
It's
true.
not that they're necessarily the same age as me, so that
yeah.
really wouldn't
Yeah.
mess with the age difference that
Yeah.
much.
Okay.
Yeah, especially if you came along through
Unexpectedly.
divine
Yeah.
intervention.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like, I thought I was halfway done
Late
raising my
20s.
kids.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a new one.
Right, right.
Son of a.
the 40-year-old mom, new mom, you know. Like, oh man. Okay,
So let's
Yeah.
let's figure out a name for
yeah. This
For our
guy,
spindle.
I think we decided
Or
on.
it could be female. Either one.
Well, let's.
Do you want to roll?
I don't know.
What is what?
Odds female, evens male.
Okay.
And if it's
Why so binary?
I know. I was gonna say if it's a 6, non-binary.
1 to 2, male. 3 to 4, female. 5 to 6, non-binary.
All right, let's do it. I love it.
That's a 5.
That's a
okay.
5.
Okay.
Them.
Okay.
They, them.
They, them.
So we do need a name, and
But,
and this person is Leo's older sibling,
Yes.
right? And AJ's love interest,
mm-hmm.
theoretically, and
Yeah.
Peter's guidance counselor.
or just like mentor of some
Okay,
sort.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
it doesn't
college level
necessarily have-
mentor.
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, cool. So
What about Alex as a name?
yeah,
Alex.
Oh,
Alex
nice.
is great.
Yeah.
Okay, Alex is good.
ALIX.
Oh yeah.
And so we know our individual relationships with the spindle. Okay, that's great. So Alex works at let's say a career counselor at UCLA. If that works
Okay.
for everyone, and is available to students in a wide, like, here's how to do a resume, here's how to submit an application. Here are jobs that are, like, these are kind of jobs that your major does well in. Just helping kids do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So Alex is what did we say? This is like late 20s.
Late 20s.
Because you went to
Yeah.
school together.
Yeah, we were. I think we were in high school together. I crushed on them, and but I went into the military instead of like sticking around, and So
And then when you came back, you guys reconnected and
Yeah.
went, aha, sparks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I like that.
I think I'm slightly changing my story a little bit. I think that I wasn't, like, I knew I was different early on, like around 11, but I didn't find out until, like, I was, like, 18 and I started, like, I got into boot camp and it became clear, like, I was the baddest of the badass in boot camp. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It just came so natural to you. It was
yeah,
right and
exactly.
easy.
It's like, oh yeah, oh, this makes all the sense in the world, and and that's when Uncle Aries and Aunt Artemis were like, hey,
Yeah. Here's what's up.
yeah, have you wondered why you're amazing?
Uh,
Yeah,
Nobody's that good.
yeah, right, yeah,
okay, that's cool.
yeah.
So then the last thing we have to do for the character stuff.
Oh, I have an idea.
Oh, no, actually, no, this is what we're doing first. First, we have to save the spindle. Then we get to fill in your individual tangles with the other characters.
I have a character suggestion for Alex. Maybe they're like really kind of like pacifist, anti-aggression, like, and
Yeah.
and so like really had like a huge issue with me being in the military. One of the reasons, like, we
Yeah,
never,
so you lost touch over that
yeah,
period of time.
yeah.
Sure, I like that.
yeah.
Okay, so this saving of the spindle the first time, it becomes a bit of a theme usually. But this is the moment where the three of you, like, maybe individually you guys have met at different times, been at the same I mean, you must have gone to the same high school at
Yeah.
really different times, but
yeah, I saw his
you know,
picture on the graduating class of.
yeah, I mean,
whatever.
you're
Right,
probably
yeah,
a sports star.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
at
big,
some
big
sport.
sports
Yeah,
star.
ridiculously huge trophy with your name on
Right,
it.
Right.
mhm, yeah.
So there may have been some sort of passing, like, oh yeah, you're that guy. I don't remember your name, but that sort of thing. But this is a moment where all three of you are helping Alex out, and this is the moment where is everything okay?
No, but
Oh,
let's
all right.
keep going. And
Okay
I'll-
then.
Do you need a break to fix there? Oh,
Okay, that's fine. The
Unless you have DeLorean, it's not something I can fix right now.
Oh, well.
okay, gotcha. Okay.
our Spindle found themselves facing insurmountable supernatural odds. An epic disaster, a monster, other demigods, etc. But we saved them. What did we save them from?
I always love giant monster stories, so that's
There's
a
a
nice
lot of big
option.
monsters in Greek stuff.
Right, exactly, yeah. And Krakens and Scylla and Charybdis.
Yeah, I was just thinking of the Scylla and Charybdis. If we could have something like an earthquake caused by one and some other disaster caused by the other, and we really had to thread the needle on saving
Oh,
Alex.
yeah.
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, an earthquake could open up and you fall into a labyrinth and,
Oh, yeah. Oh, maybe, yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah, maybe there's a giant monster underneath LA and
yeah, that's the real problem with the San Andreas Fault.
Right,
It's,
yeah,
it's not
under the
tectonic
mountains.
plates.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
It's-
it's actually a giant monster that's underneath there.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, it gets the hiccups. And we're like,
It rolls over. and
right? Yeah.
So usually the one in charge of the labyrinth is a Minotaur. So should I put Minotaur down as kind of our
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
the Minotaur / labyrinth?
Yeah.
Minnow / lab. There was substantial collateral damage. What got wrecked and how did we cover it up?
Well, if it's an earthquake, opening up a thing into a labyrinth, there's, there'd be a big gash in the general. This is UCLA, so in, in the general Santa Monica area, there's just a new canyon opened up.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Sinkhole or something.
Yeah.
Could have swallowed up a piece of, ideally Santa Monica, because Santa Monica can.
Yeah. Or maybe it was the Getty Villa.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
It survived so much.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you were just who was telling me they were just there after the disaster?
Oh, the Getty.
Yeah.
I was at the Getty, not the Villa.
Oh, the
the
Villa.
Villa's the one that's got all the pre-Christian stuff, so they've got all the Greek
Yeah, they've
statuary.
got
Oh, that's true.
all these classical
Yeah,
statues and
maybe the
sculpture,
Minotaur
yeah.
was trying to grab that stuff.
Oh, maybe so. Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
maybe there's some important thing there.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, is there was an exhibit that
There's a
that
MacGuffin.
was
Yeah.
there was an exhibit that was the sword of Theseus,
Mm-hmm.
and the Minotaur is still pissed and was gonna make that happen.
Nice.
Maybe that's mine now.
Oh, and that's your
That's
epic
my
your
weapon.
epic
Okay,
weapon.
that's great. That's great backstory.
Yeah.
So the Getty Villa got wrecked. Sorry, Getty Villa. And we covered it up by saying this was a very normal earthquake.
Right.
And everything
Yeah.
that happened here is just bad luck.
And if he's got the sword, did you make a fake one?
Sure, of course, exactly. So every time you go to the villa, I
Definitely
look at it
needed
and go,
to do that, yeah.
That's my work.
Look at all these people checking out my stuff.
Right, yeah.
Just elbow some tourists, hey, that's mine.
That's mine. I did that. Yeah.
I am the artist.
Yeah.
We
Mary's
earned...
just crafting.
So in the
Sorry.
course of rescuing the sword and sort of putting things to right and getting this Minotaur out from under the Getty Villa, we earned the admiration of a major divine being. Who was it and why were they impressed?
I think maybe Athena might be a good choice.
How come?
Just impressed with our our prowess and our ability.
I would say yes if you solved the problem in a really smart way.
Oh.
So did you solve the problem in a really smart way, or did you solve it by smashing down walls?
I solved by smashing them.
Which is why the earthquake was such a great
yeah.
explanation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
those are aftershocks and more after. Oh god, so
Yeah,
many
yeah.
aftershocks.
Yeah. Yeah, I smashed things probably.
Who's the one who cursed the Minotaur in the first place?
Is that
I think that was Athena, wasn't it?
might have been?
I don't remember.
I feel like isn't this another Hera story? Because it's the queen who falls in love with
Yeah,
the white bull.
she makes a bull fursuit in order
Europa.
to impress
Yeah,
the bull.
Yeah.
has Daedalus craft the bull suit. So
Yeah.
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 I think she's the one who's cursed to fall in love with this bull,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then gets Daedalus to build the suit so she
Yeah.
can become
And then
impregnated, and then
gives-
gives birth to the Minotaur.
But
and
why is the Minotaur in
because
King
Minos
yeah.
is
Yes,
so
yeah.
is
King
so
Minos of
disgusted,
Crete.
and it's a bastard, and
Okay.
it's
Mhm.
an affront to him that he detains Daedalus and has him create this perfect maze
Yeah.
that
Okay.
it can't get out of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Athena is a good choice just by getting Theseus' sword back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because he was a favorite of hers and
Yeah.
probably a demigod.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think Athena's
Yeah,
a good
maybe I
choice.
started smashing, and then you guys talked me into a smarter way
Yeah.
to fix it, and I was like,
You guys worked
Okay.
together. It
Perhaps-
was an amazing moment
Yeah.
of teamwork.
Perhaps
Right,
we
yeah.
just find the cause.
yeah.
Direct your anger.
Right. Yeah.
Now, conversely, in the process of all of this, we ticked off a different divine being. Having spoiled their plans or fun or whatever it was they were up to. Who was it?
Maybe it's somebody who is planning on taking the sword and giving it to their demigod. Maybe.
It's possible.
Maybe. Maybe an enemy of.
Or maybe one of the new gods wanted to promote more rationalist ideas or something, and was destroying the
yeah.
using the trappings of this old pantheon to destroy their
Yeah.
their artifacts in order to kind of promote more.
Yeah. Yeah.
To get people to go to the Getty and not the Villa.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Some sort
Maybe
of
it was.
patron god of Renaissance art.
Maybe.
And maybe it was that god of psychology and psychiatry.
Yeah, behavioral science.
The behavioral science god. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, why not? That could be.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
So behavioral science is unhappy with you.
Yeah. This is all irrational. You're only promoting the idea that belief in a thing makes it powerful. Stop it.
Which is literally true in the world of demigods.
Yes. And we hate it, so make it stop.
And all that being said, how did our Spindle and likewise you three get tangled up in the plot? Aside from randomly visiting the Getty, because randomosity doesn't exist.
Oh, I have an idea. Maybe Leo had brought Alex there to tell them about what was you were
Like she was kind of a chaperone or tour of.
no Alex didn't know that you were a demigod. And you're like,
and that's
I gotta tell somebody.
This is where I take
This
her
is-
to do the coming out.
Yeah,
Right,
you were
yeah.
going to come out to them
Yeah.
and say, yeah.
Hey, I'm a demigod, and there's all this crap
I
going
don't know,
on.
I don't know how to explain this,
Yeah,
but
it's mom and a goose, and I don't know, but yeah, and maybe that's why they were there, because you were there with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that would
that-
be an appropriate place to do it, where they're just like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's
Right,
my
yeah,
mom,
yeah.
my other mom.
yeah.
Mhm.
And then how did the other two of you wind up at the Getty Villa?
I think actually I was there to see the Sword of Theseus.
Okay.
I think maybe Uncle Ares was like,
It's making a call to you.
yeah. Uncle Ares was like, Like,
Yeah. By the way, that's your sword. Go pick it up.
Yeah.
And I can imagine you there like,
It's like, you gotta go get this.
I can't just take this sword. Like it's in a case.
Right,
And
yeah.
everyone like, how am I supposed to do this? Like
Yeah.
I could smash it and just take
Right.
it, but like
And yeah.
now I'm an international fugitive.
Right, yeah, yeah.
But
No.
you have the sword.
Right, yeah.
There
it all
Ares
matters,
is like,
dude.
so?
Yeah, so.
But
Yeah.
now, as far as anyone's concerned, that sword fell in a pit.
Right, exactly.
And
It's gone.
there's no way to get it back. So
Yeah. I
No,
kind of
no,
feel
no.
like
I think it was. Remember, it was mysteriously fine because I replaced it.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
right. We did
Yeah.
recover it. It fell in the pit, and you guys got it back out.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Were any of you publicly recognized for heroism, mortal heroism, by the media?
Oh, for risking our lives for this.
Yeah.
For
artifact?
rescuing whatever artifact.
Mm-hmm.
Or did you just keep a low profile and not want the attention?
I kind of like the idea of the potentially unwanted attention.
Yeah.
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 Local hero.
Yeah. No, I like that. I'm not sure if would all of us have been recognized or just one particular person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm also thinking? I'm also thinking if you're okay with this, that Ares was also telling me that was my sword.
Oh,
And he wants it to be like,
Yeah.
this will spark it, and to get like this competition
Yeah.
going
Right,
on.
yeah,
Because if
yeah.
I can get him to fight, then
Right.
Then maybe he'll be
I'll
my
get the
real-
son that I want.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'll get the son that I want, whether it's my son or
the other
side, yeah.
not my son, but
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
he's
Whichever one wins
basically
is
my son.
bro, you know?
But instead,
Yeah.
and much to Ares' chagrin, you two ended up working together
Yeah.
and collaborating. and
Right,
being
yeah.
friends.
Cooperation, my one enemy.
Friendship! I love it. I love
Yeah,
it. This
we-
is perfect.
We're both secretly bronies and
Okay, so
That's awesome.
Alex got tied up in this because Leo was going to come out about. Okay, so it's Leo's coming out
yeah.
about being a god. Okay. Yeah, that's great. This is a lot of fun. Okay, so in the course of that day, we don't have to. So all of that happened about a year ago.
Okay.
Okay. You guys succeeded. You fell in the pit. You fought your way through the labyrinth. You kicked Minotaur in the nards, and recovered the sword of Theseus. In that, the effort of escaping, in your, you used the sword to such great effect
Yeah.
in the escape. You're like, well, that should definitely be your sword. That's awesome. But as you're escaping, like, well, maybe we could figure out a way to.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't want to be fugitives
Right,
from
right.
from justice.
And
So
you've
Yeah.
got your workshop. I don't know what form your workshop takes, but
I'll change one of these things just to make it so it fits in this backstory here, and give myself extra planar location.
Oh yeah.
So
you
I just-
can just unzip reality
Yeah,
and stick it right in there.
Ducked
Yeah.
into a washroom, made
Yeah.
the sword, and came back out, and no time had passed.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got your little pocket dimension foundry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's convenient.
So,
Right.
so
Mhm.
I have heavy tools, fine tools, extra planar location,
Yep.
and then I have disorganized space,
Yep.
and occasionally attacked.
Yeah.
And the
Okay.
reason I think that is that people who don't know, like I would say it might be kind of common knowledge that I'm Ares' son,
Yeah.
but not that I'm not Ares' son.
Oh,
And
right.
so like he's sort of a occasional target for people who want to settle grudges or something like
Right.
that.
Or they think you've got some kick-ass weapons in there. Or
Right,
yeah.
right.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Awesome. So that's a good setup. Now, what that does is that gives us the backdrop for being able to go through and fill out your tangles. All right. The tangles are there are 6 things for everybody. There's a blank there to be filled in with one of the other characters' names. You've got to do one for each other player, and since there's so few of you, you've got to do one for Alex as well. But all of these are filled in by people at the table. You can do more than one for each player as well. A lot of times there are things that say, like if you're going to help another player, you roll plus the number of tangles you have with them. So whether they're positive or negative, like whether you're sort of you argue with somebody a lot or whatever, you know them really well, right? And so this, if you're tangled up really well with somebody, you're also going to be able to help them out when you need to help them. So you can add the same person more than once, but you do have to have everybody times 1, and then we can have more than that as well. So normally the way I like to do this is have you read all 6 so that other people at the table can hear, like, ooh, I might be a good one for that. Put me down for this. Or you could say, hey, I've got this one. Matt, can I put you down for this one because I think this would be a good fit? It can go either way as long as both people agree that it's a good kind of relationship connection. Then it makes sense. So, Matt, why don't you read all your tangles off without filling in any of them?
Okay.
And then we'll just go around. Everybody will read all 6, and then we'll go back around again and fill in some or all of them as we go.
Okay, so my first one is, blank has seen you at your worst, disheveled and confused. You've seen a dark future thread tangled around blank. You were wrong about blank and cannot figure out why. You ache for blank, but have seen what will happen if you reveal your true feelings. You know the secret blank keeps in their heart. And someone in blank's Pantheon is plotting against them, but you don't know all the details.
It should also be said that seeing futures in this is seeing possible futures.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's we don't have to get too bound up in that. Adam, do you want to read yours off?
Yes. So blank has real combat experience that you admire. You find blank's introspection to be off-putting. You have a friendly rivalry with blank, always trying to one-up each other. You shared a passionate interlude with blank after a harrowing battle. You've never seen blank actually fight and aren't sure if you can trust them. And you feel yourself drawn to blank and can't explain why.
All right.
And I have, you've made a magical item for blank and they owe you. Blank just doesn't understand what you do. You're head over heels for blank and you don't think they realize. Great parties start with you and blank. You and blank are on a hunt for a rare material of some kind, and you confided a dark secret in blank and hope they don't reveal it.
Okay. So we don't have to go in order for this, but if you have one that's jumping out at you,
And we do one for our spindle as well?
yeah, Alex needs to be in there as well.
So I kind of have one for Alex. I think we shared a passionate interlude after a harrowing battle.
Yeah.
So I think after we saved them, I finally was...
Oh, okay. So
like,
after the labyrinth was the
Yeah.
first official, like...
Yeah, like, hey, I'm hot for you, always been hot for you. And they're like, yeah, all right,
Awesome.
it's time to see.
At this point, is Alex clued into the supernatural nature of the world?
Yeah, because Alex has been dragged through a labyrinth that was inhabited by monsters.
Okay.
And watched the
I
three
just
of
want,
you.
I didn't know what the power of denial was
Yeah,
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this level,
And they're
I
like,
mean, there are
"Oh."
people who like have seen a vampire feeding in an alleyway and just went, nope, I did not, because there's that sort of there is a veil, that most humanity is going to deny, like, no, I didn't need to see that, so I didn't see it. It definitely didn't happen. It didn't happen. Oh God, it didn't happen. Because your mind can only handle so much. But yeah, Alex has, is also like bound up in your fate. So that at this point, they're fully aware of what's going on in your stories. So, all right. So you've had your romantic interlude with Alex, and that was a year ago now. So this is an ongoing relationship.
I think so, yeah.
Ish.
Yeah, ish.
All right.
Yeah. We can, depending on what turns out, we might discover that it's really actually bad, or maybe it's amazing, or, but, or maybe it's one-sided, but, yeah.
So are we fully aware of each other's lineage, the specifics of it?
Mike's right on the jacket.
Oh,
It'll
sorry.
be up to you
And the worst
guys
of the
how much of your backgrounds you've shared over the last year.
Okay.
But it does have that kind of that inherent. Wait, Alec? Wait, how do you know each other? And then, so that, and then also over the passing of time, very recently, you guys keep running into each other. Like you go to the grocery store and there's one or both of the other people.
Yeah.
It's just constantly happening, and at some point, or maybe at the start of the actual gameplay tonight, is like, okay, we keep getting thrown in the same situations. There's a reason for this. What is going on?
Yeah.
So you are not able to adequately avoid each other. So you definitely know some things about each other. You know that you're all demigods, for sure. You might not know parentage unless you've been open about that. So
Now you know your Ares' son, right?
Yeah, it was revealed to me when I was sort of unceremoniously grabbed, brought in for an audience, and then the divine truth was revealed to me with not quite an ultimatum, but almost an ultimatum of you know, shape up and fly right.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. Cool. I'm wondering if well, how fun are you?
do you mean Peter or Nick?
Yeah.
I know how fun.
I mean, Nick's got purple hair, so that's a good sign.
Pretty fun. Yeah.
I don't see Peter as being like really the life of the party type thing.
Okay.
I think he's a lot more interested in human pursuits and a lot less interested in deity pursuits.
Yeah.
And is kind of not exactly dragged kicking and screaming into these adventures, but it's always like, all right, I'll put this commission on hold and go save the world again or some garbage like that. Let's go. So, yeah, like I was looking at my, hey, great party start with you, you know, and my answer was like, and solitude.
One of my introvert friends with whom I can relate coined the term "nisolation," which was like when they're really done with people, they're ready for some nisolation.
Yeah,
which is,
I like that.
I could relate to.
Yeah. So I think maybe if Peter isn't much of a fighter, maybe I've never seen Peter actually fight, and I'm not sure if I can trust them.
Yeah, I think that's. I think that sort of works perfectly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like, you're the god. You're the son of Ares.
Yeah. And I also have Ares in my ear, like you
Right.
know, like yeah, that's my idiot son.
Well, and I've got the secret blank keeps in their heart, and I think that might be that Peter just wants fuck all to do with this.
Oh.
Where Peter wants to pursue the more pedestrian pursuits.
Yes.
And that's like his
He
deep dark
wants the
secret.
normal life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
With your permission, I'd like that if we tie this in on background on the spindle in the initial knot, if the magical item that I made for you is that replica that is in the Getty Via, the replica of the sword, and it still radiates like a low level of magic, so that
So it feels important to
exactly
people.
so that everyone else still thinks like, oh, this is an important artifact, sort of thing.
So what is your tangle?
It's you've made a magical item for blank, and they owe you.
Oh, okay.
And so Peter really feels like, come on, man, you're not a wanted fugitive because I made this thing for you.
Yeah. I don't have every other demigod trying to hunt me down and steal this sword because they think it's
still protected. In
that's a cool way to interpret that. I love
that's
it.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
What else we got?
Let's see.
So I've got all these weird foreshadowing ones on mine.
I mean, there might be a dark future with me, like and because I have the.
Well, you've got like every single potential combat god vying over your affection.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And,
So yeah.
Yeah, and things don't usually end all that well for heroes with a powerful sword.
Yeah.
So it tends to draw a lot of problems.
Well, I think it's kind of a given that Alex has seen me at my worst.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do we think that Alex feels about this world in which they've been thrust along with us? Because if Alex is cool with that and thinks it's great, then I would like to use like to use them for you can find a dark secret in Alex and hope they don't reveal it, which is that I'm very resistant and begrudging of this whole thing. I mean, not that that's like a big secret, but it's kind of a I don't know, sort of like I don't want to disappoint anybody.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm sort of going along.
And Alex is the one person who's not directly related to a god in your immediate friend
in my
group.
immediate life.
Yeah.
No, and that kind of fits with the me knowing the secret. Like, you might not know that I'm aware of that, but
That's a great fit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think we can determine like how Alex feels about this. Maybe they do think it's all kind of awful, and
no,
Or
I
it
totally
might be
support
like-
you.
Or it might be like an overtime thing, like, oh my god, magic's real, and the gods walk the earth, and I had 3 of them, and blah, blah, blah,
Right,
this is amazing. And then like, oh, my city has been attacked 17 times
Right.
in the past year.
It actually really sucks.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if maybe I find Leo's introspection to be off-putting. Would that?
No, that would be pretty fitting.
Is
I think.
Leo kind of introspective and maybe
Yeah.
like
Well, because he's more about like finding
Compared to a
information.
god of action.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, because I'm the descendant of the god of intrigue, so that's a little.
Yeah, you spend a lot of time crossing your T's, dotting your I's, doing
Yeah.
the research.
The character drama, and you're like, just can something happen other than feelings?
Right? Yeah.
I love it.
And I think like I still like you. I still like both of you. It's just it's a little.
You've
a
got
little
an epic
weird.
ranged weapon. Why don't you use it?
Right? Yeah.
I haven't lined up the shot yet.
Yeah. Stop aiming and just shoot.
That's so Aries.
Right? Yeah. And Artemis is like, "What did you just say? What did I tell you?"
That is the opposite of everything that's true.
Right? Yeah.
I love it.
Meanwhile, Hera's just like, I don't care who you hit as long as they deserve it.
Right. Yeah.
Is maybe Leo helping me on my quest for a rare material of some kind?
That I'd be.
Leo is good at finding things.
Yeah.
that's for sure.
Now, I feel like from what I have created on this, and I don't know if this is even possible, but is this... I feel like what Peter would really be looking for is like the nullificanium so that he can not be the son of a god.
He's looking for gold kryptonite.
Yeah. Or something like that. And that might not even exist, but maybe Leo is sort of like, yeah, we can help you do that. Oh, there are these rumors, and like sort of using that intrigue of like, well, let's string them along and keep them interested and something like that. Or maybe
Because
it really
he
does,
is useful.
Yeah.
Right.
or
yeah.
maybe it really does exist, and you want to hide it, or other gods want it, because if you can nullify the scions of your competitors,
Yeah.
it becomes a cakewalk. So
No, I
whether
like
it does
that.
or not, I think that's sort of
It's just the theoretical whatever that can just turn you normal.
yes, the anti-god particle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it does seem like something like that probably is floating around out there.
Right. Yeah.
Does everybody have 3 connections at least?
Yeah. I've got one for you.
Yep.
1 each?
Yeah, I've got one for each character.
And we can't have more than one, so if anyone has a second one they want to do for someone, now's the time.
Not sure. I don't think so.
Now, there's someone in Blank's Pantheon is plotting against them, but I don't know all the details. That would really be fun for either, but I'm not quite sure which direction to go with that.
Yeah.
So Gen Human suggests maybe the nullificanium or whatever is a rumor put forth by Quantum.
Yeah, I've got some ideas already.
It might exist.
Nice. I like that. Right, yeah.
You can know it exists, but you can't know where it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Or you can know where it is, but not whether it exists or not.
Now I'm going to say someone in your pantheon. In your pantheon.
Yeah,
it's
I
all
think-
the same pantheon.
Sure, sure.
Right.
Somebody's plotting against you.
Okay.
Like, I feel like you've gotten that tip because somebody wants it for not the purpose you want to use it.
Right. Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
right.
That
Okay.
that seems too perfect.
Oh yeah. That is really good. Yeah.
I kind of have, and I don't know if you want to do
Like
this.
writes itself. We don't need you, Jason.
Yeah.
See ya.
I'll go home now. I'll just watch.
That's apocalypse at its best. Really.
I know, right? Yeah. What were you saying?
Well, I was going to say I also have one here that's blank just doesn't understand what you do, and I think that might be a good
Yeah.
tangle that
Yeah.
Like AJ just really
AJ and
doesn't.
Peter have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, how are you not into this? This is
Right.
amazing. You get to, like, smite people and
Right,
do stuff.
yeah.
I'm like, I just want to make things.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I just make
yeah.
things?
Can
That'd
I
be
work
great.
on my car?
Yeah.
Motorcycle.
Like, come
Oh,
on.
motorcycle, yeah.
Like, yeah. Like you have that badass motorcycle and you don't you drive it like the speed limit. Like, what is wrong with you?
Like
This is definitely changed. Like, I originally had, like, this biker vision in my mind, but I like this, like...
I'm just imagining that the second you started high school, you started living in the auto shop.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's fun. I like it. Yeah, that's cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with that.
All right. Well, now that we've got a lot of that stuff settled, I'm going to take a quick bathroom break.
Okay.
And then we'll... Thank you.
Break it down. Oh, Chad's gonna hate this. I'm also thinking of some poor podcast listener. Like, I'm just like, what the?
I've heard this in an elevator. Why?
Yeah.
Why does? Ah!
This podcast is the worst. It's just 4 hours of music.
A cappella music.
Right? Yeah.
Out of tune.
Right.
Chat, if you have any questions that we can answer real quick, there is a delay, but please feel free to let us know.
Yes.
I will go ahead and there is something here from PBtA saying that, Adam, I love your characterization of Boo.
Oh, yay. Oh, good. Thank you. So for those who don't know, Boo is... so in Happy Jack's RPG, for those who don't know, you can purchase an
I think we're gonna go
NPC.
one at a time.
You can basically buy to get to create an NPC for the game. And so PBtA purchased an NPC named Boo, who is the team's pilot and driver, transportation specialist, and so yeah, she's really awesome. She's got like some fun, she's just a little outside the team, like just enough to make fun of them a little bit, but also but she's a badass, and yeah, and I have all kinds of ideas for her. So yeah, I'm planning to keep her showing up. So.
Honey Bumble asks, what system are you playing? So if you want to take that real quick.
Yeah, well, it's the game is called Demigods. It's based on the Apocalypse World engine. So PBtA, powered by the Apocalypse, are a whole bunch of games that are based on that. And so the basic mechanic of the game is you have 5 stats. You roll 2 6-sided dice, add them together, and then add your stat in. So that being the case, the mechanics run that a 2 to 6 total is a failed roll, and then something fun happens. A 7 to 9.
Value of fun.
Yeah. Something fun for me happens. And hopefully fun for everyone's storytelling. Out of 7 to 9, we have a qualified success or a shitty success, if you want to look at it that way. You basically accomplish what you set out to do, but also at some sort of cost, basically. And then on a 10 or better, you nail it. You do exactly what you set out to do. So yeah, that's the basics of the system. And we're almost ready to be rolling dice about things. So.
Soon.
Although I do have to say, with most Powered by the Apocalypse games, the first couple hours of making a team together is honestly like some of my favoritist. Really?
Favoritist? Yeah.
Okay, way to go,
That's
me.
another word.
Most favoritist.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay, I'll just sort of keep an eye on things. But
An earthquake.
Okay.
yeah.
Here, let me switch real quick so I can make sure people aren't. Oh yeah, I'm way
Disoriented.
off.
Hey, they're there. Yeah.
Is that good?
Looks a little
well,
crooked.
it's wonky.
Okay.
Here.
Yeah, it looks like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
it's crooked. There you go.
No, you guys just need to say, "Pow, Biff."
Meanwhile, in the Joker's lair.
That's great. See if I can keep an eye on the chat here.
Meanwhile, in the giant instrument factory.
Holy trumpets, Batman!
Yeah, those are the basics of the system.
Yes. I was gonna say something and now I don't remember.
I bet it was really profound.
I'm sure it was. It probably would have changed the world.
Yeah, I feel affected, like,
Yeah.
even not knowing what you were going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think just the waves of inspiration coming off of me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like I'm going to change
Yeah.
some life choices.
Well, somebody has to make the world a better place. I guess it's up to me.
Yeah, ain't going to be me. So. I got a bedtime.
Why don't I go through what these basic moves are a little
yeah.
bit, so everyone has an
Yeah.
idea. This is stuff that everybody can do. Smite your enemies. Just, wade into the fight, however you're going to do it. If it is if you're getting in hand-to-hand or sword-to-hand or hand-to-sword or whatever, then you're going to trade blows when you go into a fight. Like, you're going to take damage and they will take damage. And that's just based on what kind of weapons you're using and how well you roll. There are a number of options you can choose from, like trying to do extra damage or avoiding some of the damage. If you're going in with a ranged weapon and your opponent does not have a ranged weapon, then you have an inherent advantage. You have done something smart. But if they have a ranged weapon or some way that they can, fight back from you firing an arrow at them, then you'll also trade blows as usual. So they'll shoot back at you or whatever if they have that capability.
Okay.
Perform Under Pressure is a great big catch-all move for doing stuff that needs to be done in a hurry and is tricky and who knows. But Perform Under Pressure could be picking a lock, hacking a computer, driving a car, not into the wall. It's not something you roll all the time, like you want to drive your car to the grocery store. That's not a roll. We don't have to roll for that. Nobody cares. It's boring.
Yes.
But when something awesome is happening, you're going to do Perform Under Pressure and see how it goes. Sway someone is kind of our, charisma roll to get people to do what you want them to do. Maybe you're being nice about it. Maybe you're being just a really forceful personality. Whatever it is, if you have a high awe stat, you're good at getting people to do what you want them to do. And the sway someone has options for how that's going to go. And NPCs, a successful sway roll, it just goes that way. For PCs, like if you're trying to sway one of your teammates here, you can make the case, have a successful roll, but they always have the choice whether they're going to go with it or not. If they go with it, there's like an extra bonus that comes with it. If they decide to do their own thing, well, that's player agency, and that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
So, Read the Weave is a great big perception/investigation roll. but keep in mind, even the most martial among you, Read the Weave has a supernatural component to it, right? You guys see beyond what lots of people see, right? Like you might see people walking along the street who have just a basic glamour, so they don't scare people. But you guys see past that sort of thing, right? There's all kinds of people wandering around that you guys are starting to see. And even Alex is starting to see just from being in your sort of gravitational pull.
Yeah.
Alex is starting to see past the veil a little bit as well. So even though they don't have supernatural abilities, that's what's happening there. So you would pick whether you want to read a person, read a place, or read an artifact, and then roll your judgment, and depending on how well you roll, get some amount of information. Weave magic is when you roll your weird score, and that is really to accomplish anything that's really supernatural and strange. There are a number of things here as examples for effects and costs. If you see yourself as being kind of magic-y, there's lots of things. Like anybody can attempt a weird a weave magic roll. I don't know how magic-y everyone's character is, but there are options here. And I don't know if you notice the effects has like an empty bullet. Like I don't even know what all this is supposed to do yet. So there are lots of things that that this can do. Sometimes even if you have like a gift and you want to be like, this gift, I don't have a move that says I could do this, but I think it should help me do X, Y, Z. Let's roll weird. That's what we're going to do. So
what about, like I have the gift of flight. What if I just want to like take off flying? Do I need to roll to... No,
if there's nothing between you and where you want to go, then that's not a big deal. If you want to fly fast enough to catch a plane that's taking off, or like fly down to catch someone who's falling, then
some kind of stunt with my gift of flight, then I would need to roll weird.
Yeah, it'll either be weird or courage, depending on what seems most appropriate.
Okay. Oh yeah, because if it's the way I'm thinking is like, if I'm trying to like boost my speed faster than I've ever flown before, it's not like I have wings to flap harder.
Right.
So so it's like channeling the divine energy.
Yeah.
Whereas
that would probably be weird.
Yeah. Whereas like diving to catch someone, that's just like a matter of physical.
Yeah.
Activity,
probably more of a courage roll.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
And then help someone, you can roll plus the number of tangles that you have with someone. And if you are successful on that roll, they'll get a bonus to the thing they're attempting to do, as long as you can describe somehow that you're able to assist what they're doing. If we have Peter trying to do research on an artifact of some kind, and AJ is like, "Oh, I'm going to help with the research," I'm like, I need to know how AJ is helping, and specifically not hindering the research process.
Well, he's telling me all these stories about all these other things that he's heard about, which are all weapons and ways to kill people.
Right? Yeah.
And that's totally helpful.
Yeah.
Totally helpful. Yes.
So there are situations where I might just go like, I don't think that's going to work. I love a yes and, but there's also our fiction that we want to be. We want to honor our fiction.
Yeah.
So.
Shouldn't that be sharper?
Sharper.
Twitch.
Yeah. How are you going to kill anybody with that? That's ridiculous.
It's a watch.
Yeah, and it needs a blade.
I've seen those James Bond movies.
Right, exactly, yeah. What does it shoot out of the watch?
There are 0 lasers.
Time. Right? Yeah, 0 lasers on that watch.
It shoots information? What is this?
It beams the time of day directly into your
the
eyeball.
optic nerve
Yes.
of anyone that you show it to.
Yeah.
If it were a smartwatch, it would carry a weapon.
I love it.
Oh my god.
That's amazing.
Nice.
Okay, well, oh god.
I'm sure what you guys are trying to say about AJ.
All right. You guys have been palling around for a better part of a year. for better or worse, these relationships are kind of in place. Fate would very much try to get in your way if any one of you was trying to leave town alone, right? Like get too far away from this bundle of people that you've created. This is actually why a lot of demigods who know what they are try to keep to themselves so they don't get tangled up in ongoings and things that they don't want to have to be part of.
Yeah.
But
we have gravity in a way.
Yeah. You four are almost literally stuck with each other.
Yeah.
And that's your life now. And you're occasionally given things to do, and little tasks, and you can tell half the time these tasks are like, well, okay, Athena wants us to go do this thing. Ares is clearly not going to like it, but we already said we would do it, and well, okay. There's lots of little power plays and things that happen.
Like, AJ, go talk to Ares. He likes you.
Yeah. So
Ares said no. Go ask Artemis.
Right? Yeah.
Oh my God, you do have that total mom
Right,
dad
yeah.
mechanic going.
that's amazing. Well, the we find our heroes in an elevator going up.
Well played.
You've been given a those great. It's not like a regular brief. It's like the double thick silver metal briefcase looking thing that is either it's got like a big foam insert or it's a whatever happens to be in this thing. You've been asked to deliver this to the roof of one of the taller buildings in Westwood, which is just down from UCLA. And if you can get it to the roof, it should be able to provide some data that I'm trying to think of. Actually, I think is Athena the one who kind of follows the stars in Greek mythology.
Follows the stars?
Yeah. Oh no, actually no.
Yeah.
You've actually been asked to do something by Apollo in a roundabout way.
Oh, okay.
Where Apollo is normally sort of aloof and kind of up to his own shenanigans, and dragging the sun across the sky.
Right. Yeah.
You just have to imagine like all of the sun gods who are supposed to be responsible for moving the sun. Like, do they take turns?
Right.
Are they just together? Do they work together?
Yeah.
Like, all right, let's go, guys. We gotta punch the clock and move the sun across. And then all the moon gods are like, all right, well, what time
The
is
sun's
it?
really heavy. It takes more than one.
Right. Yeah.
It's true.
They're all hitched up to it. Yeah.
Yeah. There's the goats and the sheep and the horses and the.
And then some of them just are the sun.
Yeah.
And,
And they're just sitting back in their big old
Right.
sun
Yeah,
marker
yeah,
lounger.
yeah,
while
right,
the other sun gods are dragging them around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apollo. Yeah.
Carry on.
Good day's work, everybody.
boy.
See you again tomorrow.
I'm very proud. Very good. Very good job.
Oh my God.
So the other thing that the gods are often involved with is they want people to believe in them. All right. So probably another little tweak about this world that would be different from the world that you and I know is that all of the like the big three religions are still the big three, but there are a lot more people than you would think who like people who actually have a shrine to Odin in their house, right? I'm sure some people today actually do have shrines to Odin, but way more than we think have shrine to Odin or Shango or Manon and McLear. There are just the smaller religions have a lot more followers than we do in actual real life 2018. So.
And as far as Apollo being distant, I feel like he probably comes around. He probably is he's not avoiding me, but he just doesn't care. I think,
Yeah,
Yeah.
he gets
I
nights
almost-
off.
Right.
I almost
Yeah,
feel like,
right,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. He shows up to your house at sundown
Yeah.
and he's like, hey, you want to
Yeah,
grab some
right.
paella?
Yeah, right, yeah.
I was in the neighborhood.
And I'm like, oh, cool, time with Dad. And he's like, I don't really want to talk to you. Just like, drive while I drink. You know?
I've had a long day at work.
Right, yeah.
I've been driving all day. I don't want to drive.
Right, yeah.
So the gods.
That's why he has all the kids to be his own personal Uber.
Just drive him around.
Yeah.
Oh man, the Greeks are such assholes. The gods, I should say,
The gods.
not Greek people.
Yeah. Happy Jack's RPG would like to apologize to all Greek people.
I mean, just some of them.
Yeah, right.
Some of them are assholes.
Right, I'm sure,
right?
like everybody.
Yeah.
Like all groups.
But so the gods want people to believe in them, but they don't. If they prove that they exist, and it's no longer belief,
Right.
right?
Okay.
So they don't. That's part of the reason they don't just come kick it with humanity. One, reality starts bending itself around them, which is problematic. But two, they want people to believe in the mystery of themselves, but they can't just, like, if they go up to somebody and go, I'm Apollo, boom, and throw up, I don't know what Apollo would throw, a spear.
A loot.
Yeah, a lute. Wham! You just wang someone on the head with a lute. That person now knows for a fact that Apollo is real and exists.
Yeah.
Right.
And
And,
they don't.
then that's no more faith.
They don't
it's
believe
certainty.
in him. Yeah, exactly. And so that sort of uncertainty principle is
Yeah.
what generates the thing that gods want.
Yeah.
So out of curiosity, in your conception of this game, if enough people believe that the Earth was flat, would that be true? If there are enough flat Earthers?
In the right situation, yeah.
All
Or that I think the distinguishment is what's the word I want?
Distinction?
Yeah, the distinction becomes.
Or maybe it's like those people and the gods that they created, just like they can only perceive the Earth as
Yeah,
flat.
yeah, like
Oh.
it's flat for them. Is what I was
Gotcha,
trying to
okay.
say.
Yeah.
Which is just part of a really bizarre, and they have all these explanations. I don't know if you followed any of it. I'm sort of morbidly curious
Yeah,
with
it's
it.
kind of morbidly curious as well.
yeah.
But they have all these explanations for the things that I would say don't make sense about their theory. And
Right, right.
So Jason and I were kind of talking about the whole like science pantheon coming over here because I've been in several play tests of this since the beginning, and and the science pantheon is one of my favorite things about it. And
No, it was neat because I remember like suggesting some of those ideas, and like you had that Twitter thing going on. Where you
Yeah.
oh
looked
yeah,
for things.
yeah. And so we were kind of talking about how like the flat earthers and anti-vaxxers are kind of like the religious extremists of the science pantheon. Like,
Okay.
where they've taken something that sounds science-y,
Right.
and they're like, this exists. and
demanded
just-
that it's true.
Yeah. And the science gods are like, but that's not how it works, but now it is, you assholes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. The world is capable of multiple truths.
right. Yes.
But anyway, Apollo has asked you to deliver this device. Through messengers, Apollo wants you to deliver this thing to the roof by sundown, and set it up. Open it up, set up the thing. So, part of it is AJ. You have to do it because he's your dad, and he wants you to make sure this thing gets there safely.
Yeah.
Peter, you needed to be there because it's a technical device that is
Right.
going
He
to.
wants it done right.
Yeah.
Somebody has to nerd it.
Please don't.
Someone has to nerd it.
Don't
Thank
open
you.
it with your forehead.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. AJ's like,
Stupid case.
the
open.
files are in the computer.
I'll just break the computer and we'll
Yeah.
take the files out. No, it doesn't work like
You
that.
crack it open,
Hello,
just like a
computer.
shellfish.
And Leo's got to be there because fate says you got to be with these losers.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Leo,
it
we're
is.
going to the roof.
This is
Get in.
actually.
In fairness, tall roofs would probably be right in your bag. Like that's kind of home to you.
No,
I mean,
in
from what it
actuality,
seems
you
like.
need to be there because the device's design is for it's like the thing that Apollo wants to use to be able to tell the future.
Okay.
It's like a oracular device.
Okay.
And so when he sets it up and he makes sure it gets there safely, he kind of wants you to just like
To interpret it.
yeah, run a system check and see if it's actually giving you information
Okay.
that
Oh,
seems
yeah.
legit. So that's kind of here we are in this elevator,
Right.
going up. Was there a scene of superheroes in an elevator recently?
There's one. It's one of the Spider-Mans.
Yeah, there was one in Spider-Man
yeah.
2.
Two. Yeah, that's it.
Way back when. There
Right.
was
Yeah.
one in...
The only other
Was he-
elevator I can
was
think
it
of
Homecoming? He was
is
stuck in an elevator,
with Captain America in the fight with all of the other agents in the elevator.
yeah, and he's
Oh,
waiting,
right,
'cause- and he's figuring out that they're about to jump him, and
Right.
yeah.
Yes.
I think that's the one
Oh.
I'm thinking of.
No, Thor Ragnarok.
Oh,
Thor
yes.
and Loki are in the elevator. And like,
Okay.
That was
Yeah.
amazing
Yeah.
too. Elevators, epic
Yeah.
elevators.
Yes. It's a new gift. Epic elevator.
Yeah.
Epic ranged elevator?
Right.
Yeah. That's Willy Wonka's power.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So the
Gemethus says the Defenders. There's a scene where they're all in the elevator in the hands building.
Oh right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. sort
See
of
a theme
awkwardly waiting
developing.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the teaser trailer for it.
Yeah.
We're right into the zeitgeist here.
Right. Yeah.
Superheroes in elevators.
Right.
Excellent. All right. So
It's a metaphor for elevating beyond mortality.
Oh, that is deep. Somebody's getting into character. I should be drinking beer.
all right. So the elevator eventually opens up. There is. Is this something you guys would have invited Alex along to, or probably not?
No, I'd probably.
But maybe Alex found out about it and was like, "Oh,
What-
can I go
what
with you,
building is
with,
this?"
with you guys? It
Yeah.
would be so cool."
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
An
it's
actual
right, it's right
mission
down
from
the street.
Apollo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's it's just deliver this thing to the roof. Like, it's definitely not dangerous. Nothing bad's gonna happen.
Right, yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Like,
of course.
what could go wrong?
Yeah. And I tried to tell them like over and over, like,
Yeah, that's my
Don't-
bad. I let that slip.
Look,
yeah,
Alex,
yeah.
I'm telling you, can just see it's a bunch of grunt work that I don't want to do. It's sure,
That's
come along.
AJ's dad.
Yeah. Right, yeah. Yeah. So Alex probably invited themselves.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So
Yeah, but
or maybe they're like waiting downstairs in the car, maybe. Or
No, I want to see what you guys do. This seems really
Yeah.
cool, and this is a neat opportunity. It's not dangerous, like you said. If it's boring, that's great. That's a good time for me to tag along, right?
Yeah, you can just see what a day in the life of a messenger boy of the gods is like.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that sounds like fun. Let's do that. All right. So the four of you are in the elevator, and ding opens up, and it opens up into like the tiniest room because it's just like the elevator shaft comes up, and then there's like a security door out to the roof, right? So
Okay.
you're like, so just somebody open the door, and four of you go out onto the roof. Some pigeons take off, like, oh God, people. It's pigeons, disgusting.
Sorry to any god of pigeons listening to the show.
No, I'm not sorry. I stand by my words. Your creations disgust me. Flying rats. Ugh. It's coming up on sundown, and the west side is a little bit hazy this afternoon. So you are actually up above the haze. So you're kind of looking down on. We can't really call it fog. It's not that thick, but you can see a fair amount of haze coming in from the marine layer there, and the.
AJ over here, you said the west corner.
Hmm?
Yeah.
You know,
I know which way west is.
Yeah, the
I
one
know
towards-
you know which way west is.
When you see the ocean, that's west.
Right.
I love the idea of like looking up at the sun, like I can see my dad.
Yeah. Hey, Dad's almost on work. Yeah. I'll cart it over there. But like, I'm on the lookout because everything always goes wrong. So
Well, I don't know what gives you that idea.
when the three of us especially are together, and especially when Alex is there, like something always happens.
No job is simple when Alex is around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's like, I've almost become paranoid. Like anytime the four of us are together, which is often, like something always, something's always terrible. So I'm always like trying to like.
You might be trepidatious about it, but you might be eager. Something's got to happen.
You might be right. Actually, yeah. Maybe I'm kind of like, there's a part of me
bouncing on the balls of your feet.
I'm never comfortable when AJ's in a good mood.
Yeah. So I think I'm like, West Corner. Yep, let's do this. All right, it's gonna be fun.
Why is AJ bringing a sword to setting up some tech?
Right. Yeah.
Yep. Other than those disgusting pigeons that flew away,
right? Yeah.
There's nothing up here. There's no people. It's just a boring old office building down below, like lots of random offices and businesses. Let's say we've got 30 stories. So you're pretty high up, but not that high up. And
so I think once AJ sets it up in the corner, I'll hit the locks, hit the combo,
Nerd
pop
it up,
open the case.
Okay. Yeah, it's a great big thing that needs to open up both sides and lay it down flat like that. And a whole bunch of things sort of impossibly unfold, if you understand what I mean, like sort of extra dimensional shapes of the rings that are rotating around, like rings within rings with the like an armillary.
Not that big.
Right.
And basically,
it's Time Lord technology.
Right,
oh boy.
I think I see Peter's face just kind of like just sink a little bit as you realize how complicated it is, and I think that amuses me a little bit.
It's like, that briefcase was impressively light for what's in there.
Well, now the briefcase actually weighs a lot more open than it does closed.
Yeah.
Because more of it exists now.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I extend the little feet on it so it braces and calibrates. And
Yep, it makes some whirring noises. It's essentially an armillary sphere inside. I don't know if you can look up a picture of that if you're at home. But there's lots of things moving around, things that aren't attached to anything else, just sort of whirling around and doing something. If you want, you have the sort of identifying a device that you're handling that move?
yes, in fact, I do.
I'm going to ask you to go ahead and roll that.
All right. Ghost in the Machine.
Yeah.
I think I'm kind of just spinning my sword around, just kind of playing with it, and just sort of walking the perimeter.
Okay.
Oh,
Wow.
Holy, that is a great start to our playtest.
Yes.
Those are boxcars.
Yeah.
For those listening in.
Rolling doubles lets you gain
Oh,
a
yeah.
thread.
Oh, and I
You
guess
gain a thread. The thread track is on that inside page.
Threads.
You've
Cool.
got your first thread.
touch an object and understand how it works. The understanding will fade eventually, but you know what to do for now. On a hit, you can use the object. On a 10+, push the object's performance beyond its normal capacity.
All right. So in this case, I'm sort of hijacking your move a little bit.
Course.
But interestingly, this object is, it is collecting data, and that's sort of its obvious function. It also appears to be broadcasting data of some kind, which seems unexpected from your point of view of what you were expecting to set up.
Can I narrow down where the broadcast is coming from, and if it's like an essential component of the machine? Because we're just told that it collected information. This is weird.
Yeah, it's actually the armillary, like the core sphere of it itself is it seems to be sending out the signal. And it's also pretty clear. I mean, with boxcars, I really can't keep very many secrets from you. This is not an obvious function. Like it's meant to be a hidden function of this device. So, it is like
AJ, did you? Oh, do we know each other's?
Yeah, you
ancestors?
know my dad is Apollo. Yeah.
Did your dad say anything else about the device other than it was going to collect data for him on here? Because I'm getting a really weird reading. It's broadcasting.
That's all stuff I have no idea about. Like, he told me about as much as like he ever tells me about anything, which is basically nothing. So, you're welcome. Figure it out.
So can I use my psychometry to see
That
if
sounds like a great
anybody
idea.
unexpected has handled it?
yeah. Let's.
So yeah, I was just like, let me take a look at that, and
Just
Brace.
don't touch this part.
okay. So here,
That's
And
fine. Nothing that's moving.
I need
and
two hands. I need
nothing
two
that's
hands.
moving,
Where's the
and
other
this
hand go?
switch. Not that switch. Anywhere else.
Where
Right here.
Anywhere?
Here's fine.
Okay.
This is great.
okay.
Yeah.
Don't push this button.
I
Okay.
am Groot.
I am Groot. That's
am
what was
Groot.
going through my head right there.
I love it.
Okay. So I get a good feel for the item and use my psychometry. Is there any sort of roll associated
Yeah, I
with
think
that?
that's probably going to be a weird roll.
Okay.
While Leo is doing his like touchy thing, I just kind of go up to Alex and like, would you just kind of please, like, you know, I like you a lot and you're amazing, but please just go stand near the elevator because you know how things tend to go.
I like you too. I just wanted to see what was. I mean, that thing's pretty cool.
Yes, and
So-
cool stuff attracts bad stuff. Please.
Would that be a weird or would that be a read the weave? If it's the psychometry, would that be weird?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Because like read the weave would be to try and see something that's kind of immediately available, and you're
Okay.
trying to read into the object's history a little bit.
Okay.
So.
Not great.
Oh, also
Doubles.
doubles.
Oh, but it is doubles.
Yes,
Okay.
All right. So a total of 4 because weird is +0
Yes.
for you. Okay. Great. Thread is good. Failed roll also good. And when Alex heads over to wait by the elevator, jiggles the door handle. Guys, we're locked out. I guess. I mean, should I call building maintenance or?
No, I can.
So
I can take
do
care
I
of
have to
it.
pick the
Don't
the
touch
costs
anything else.
due to that failing?
Pick one cost.
Okay. Well, it'll inflict one harm. It sparked despite me touching it in the right
Okay.
spot.
I said. Oh,
I touched it where you told me to.
not there. There.
Bad touch. Bad touch.
Hold on. I'll
Show me on the armillary sphere where he touched you.
Just fix it. I know you can fix it. Just fix it. I'll stop trying to help.
Although I will say the your impression, like what you're trying to get is the history of this thing. Like, is it basically doing what it's supposed to do?
Yeah.
And I'll say at a very basic level, it feels like the thing is right.
Okay.
Like not that it's correct, but that it's
It's doing what it was designed for.
right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to kind of get a feel for ownership, but with that bad of a roll, I would not get much of anything.
Yeah,
sure.
it's not clear who it belongs to. I mean, the delivery, the messenger who brought it said it belongs to Apollo, that it's Apollo's device. But yeah, you're not able to get much more of a read.
So
on it
did
than
you
that.
actually get this information, this request, from your father or from a series of intermediaries?
It's kind of more. It was just like showed up with a messenger.
Okay, was this a messenger you had encountered before, or was this a new messenger?
That's a good question. Do you want to
This
determine
is,
that,
this
or
is,
should
this is a messenger you haven't met before, but that's relatively common because what's his face with the wings on his shoes?
Hermes.
Thank you. Wow. You wouldn't think I've spent
Jay
the
Garrick.
last
Wait.
12 months studying every
Namor.
mythology. No, not that. Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. I've dunked my head into like every mythology I could get my hands on in the last year.
Yeah.
Oh, are the Marvel characters growing in popularity in this world?
Oh,
Is there still like a proto?
It was the
there-
DC
seems like
characters,
there
but then the
should be,
movies
huh?
started coming
Right.
out.
Yeah, proto
yeah.
pantheons is
Right, yeah.
forming.
Yeah. Should be. Just think of the poor god of telegraphs. I'm still relevant. No, you're not.
It was somebody new, but I mean it happens a lot.
It's always somebody
lately.
new.
Yeah, I mean, so what I was going to say is Hermes has a global delivery company.
Yeah.
You know, and a bunch of the messenger gods do. That's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
UPS is one of them. FedEx is another one of them. You know, Global
Right, yeah.
Express is another one. You know, it's like all of those delivery companies
Right.
and courier companies. One of them is like everybody's got their own.
Right. Yeah.
So
Hermes Courier International.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
He also owns FTV, which he's so mad that he used his logo there instead of one of his delivery companies.
I think
boy.
that's it. It always shows up with a flower delivery. And, yeah. It showed up with a dozen roses, so I'm pretty sure it was legit.
The note said from Dad.
That it's yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Dear
boy.
son, I am neither disappointed nor proud of you. Please
I
take this
acknowledge
to the
your
roof
existence.
of yeah.
I mean, he said son.
Yeah.
So-
I mean,
I acknowledge your existence. Please get a new hobby.
right, yeah. It's about as warm as he gets.
I love it. Oh boy.
About as touchy-feely as he gets. He gets plenty warm.
Yada-da-da-da-da.
Oh god.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
in Jason's seat. Nailed it. First try.
All right.
If I sit in the seat, do I get to steal all your catchphrases?
Do I have catchphrases?
Maybe.
All right. Well, the
Does it not feel right?
It's the letter from your dad said that it was supposed to gather information and to set it up. He gave me the instructions on how to do it, but it's also broadcasting information somewhere, and I don't know where or who or what that is, or if that's just part of it.
It's like I'm getting
So-
the sense that it's doing what it's supposed to do, but the note doesn't say that it's supposed to be doing what it's apparently supposed
by the way,
to be doing.
with his sparking interaction, we need to get the
Oh, we
sphere
need-
back on
we need
track.
to make sure this is
Could
still
you
working
do
out.
a courage roll for me?
Sure.
In this case, I'm going to give you advantage for your epic tools.
Okay.
All right, so roll 3 and take the better 2.
God! Which two to pick?
Wow.
The gods
Those
love me.
are-
That was triple boxcars, everyone.
Yeah,
Really?
3
Yeah.
6s.
Holy crap.
Which, by the way, goes back around the horn to.
To a failure.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. 3 6s mean the worst possible.
So, which
result,
which
yeah.
2 6s do you want then?
I'll take these 2 6s.
Yeah. Oh my
Right.
God, that is really like
Yahtzee,
I'm
really.
concerned.
Right.
I'm worried about all this karma we're
I'm just-
using
I'm
up.
blowing
Yeah.
it on. I'm
Right.
blowing it on all the perception
Yeah.
rolls.
Yeah,
like when you get
exactly.
into it.
Classic.
Yeah. Right.
Classic.
Yeah.
Okay, so the you definitely you get this
So I
thing.
whip out the Leatherman,
Yeah.
and it's like the super deluxe one that's got everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It keeps unfolding.
It just
in weird
goes
ways.
off the edge of the building.
Yeah. You're able to make some quick adjustments. Some things were starting to spin off balance, and you're able to like kind of tap things back in place and get it working the way that it was designed to work. Partly because your power let you know exactly how it's supposed to work,
Right.
and so you're able to get it back to rights.
Okay.
Yep.
All these worrying things, you just have a ball peen hammer, you just boom, and it just goes right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Hitting it with the hammer was only $10. $990 to know where.
Exactly. So this thing, it goes completely silent again, which is sort of a good sign with machinery. If it's
Good.
making a lot of noise, it's usually bad. The thing is spinning, doing what it's supposed to do, and then when the sun goes down, there's a little, like almost kind of ultraviolet pulse color of the pulse that comes out of this machine. Just woof, it doesn't do anything to you. It doesn't affect you. It doesn't change your surroundings at all. But when the sun goes down, this thing goes woof, the ultraviolet pulse, and which is something most people couldn't see. You guys are demigods.
Does it affect Alex at all?
Alex doesn't even notice.
Okay.
I mean, they're sort of watching from the doorway. You know, they had already rattled the door, like, "Hey guys, the door's locked." Awkward.
I'll take care of it in a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Alex isn't super panicked or anything. It's just like, oh, crap. The door locked behind us. That's annoying. And the device is doing its work. A little pulse goes off. And there is...
Are we supposed to just leave this here, or is it going to collect data and we'll fold it up, or what's the game plan?
I mean, he didn't really say, but maybe it's meant for me. Like, how do you do this? How do you use it?
No.
I mean,
no.
I might have like this connection.
No. If he wanted you to set it up, I wouldn't be here.
Matt, did you?
You
take
got it
augury
set
for
up. Maybe I'm the
I
one
did
who's
not.
supposed to
Okay,
like
that's
have
fine.
the
I
visions or
took
whatever.
determine guilt, ranged weapon, and psychometry.
Oh. Can you do it? Just roll plus your judgment, please.
Okay. 6.
Hey, you want to try these
Plus
dice?
2 is 6.
I know, right? Yeah.
Apparently.
Okay, that's
Clearly
great.
none.
You have clearly sucked up all the luck in the room.
All right.
Some more
So-
sinister looking
So
dice. I'll use those.
here's what I'm going to say. You have a really clear idea of how to use this device, and you feel inspired to sit down and manipulate the controls to get a peek into the future.
So I think what AJ
Yeah.
is going. Oh, maybe it's meant for me, and
Yeah.
Peter's going. No.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Leo just walked out and
It's
goes.
just- yeah.
Oh, shiny.
Yeah, right.
wait,
Yeah.
I know the spots to touch now.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean there's a clear kind of array of interface, you know, like buttons and dials and things that someone would use. And yeah, you feel. I'm not going to say your character is compelled. You're not, but you have a really clear idea of how to operate this device, and doing so is going to give you some really incredible insight into the future.
Okay.
It's hard to pass up.
Yeah. So yeah, while they're just fighting, I'm just gonna just go, well, if I can learn something, I clearly should.
Yeah.
Terrific.
Obviously.
Terrific.
Yeah, there's no harm that can be done by knowing something.
Nope.
That is the best statement of untruth I've ever heard. All right, so you kind of kneel down next to this thing and fiddle with the input.
Doopy doopy bloop bloop beep.
And there's a moment where your body freezes and your perception is sucked into the sphere. Not like Tron style, but you know, your perception goes in.
Yeah, I'm still there, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not. My
And-
body's there. I'm not.
And I'm going to
there.
say you're fairly occupied when the two of you hear ridiculously high-pitched screeching from the skies above you. Like higher, like humans probably can't hear this noise. And in fact, Alex is still sort of like trying to do the thing with the credit card.
Yeah.
There's already like a ripped Starbucks card that they've already tried. They're like that's on the ground. They're trying their actual credit card now.
Right.
Like okay,
They
that's
got one of the new metal ones.
Right.
It doesn't fit in there very
Right,
well.
Right.
but they're trying. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
it's a good effort. So yeah, there's this horrible screeching noise. You two can hear it. Like, oh, what is that noise? Alex seems totally unconcerned.
I'm
So
busy hearing the future. so-
yeah. Your perception has dove into the sphere, and you are basically sort of this first-person point of view, streaming up into the heavens,
Okay.
and you are careening straight towards a satellite.
Okay.
Just looks like a regular, like
A man-made
like,
satellite.
Yeah, communication satellite.
Okay.
And we'll get to more on that in a second. But the two of you look up and see a half dozen leathery and feathered, sort of feminine forms descending on you. Yeah.
It smells bad.
Yeah. And they do not look like they're here to play Scrabble with you.
Right.
And I think we'll just sort of leap into combat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're
Well,
really...
AJ will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yes. Yeah.
So, in Powered by the Apocalypse, we don't really do initiative rolls. And in fact, I don't roll anything as the GM. I get to do something when they roll poorly. So, if either of you has something you're inspired to do this is a good time to do so.
Yeah, I think this is a good time. So I can't even stop the smile on my face. Honestly. I'm like, yeah, I knew it was gonna happen. I'm okay with it. I'm worried about Alex, but as long as I can keep everything focused on me, we're fine. So I just kind of fly up into the air, and I just, flick out that sword of Theseus and do sort of a deific come at me, bro.
Okay.
But,
Jump up, whip it out.
Yeah. I mean, I can fly, so I
Yeah.
just kind of fly up about 30 feet or so off the
Okay.
ground, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, did I scorn somebody? What do you want?
All right, so are you wanting to attack?
oh.
You wanting to sway them to attack you?
I'm going to use incite violence.
Oh, okay.
So roll 2d6 plus awe and single out an opponent. On a hit, that opponent is compelled to battle you and not threaten anyone else. If the opponent wasn't already inclined to violence, they become so. And I am gifted with a circlet of command, so I may apply the effect to a small group of people.
This is a small group of,
Yes.
harpies.
Of harpies,
I don't know if they're people.
Yeah. Harpies are people, too.
No, they're gross.
Yeah, they're pretty gross. Yeah.
Yeah, the pigeons went, took a bath, and now they're big.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what happens. The pigeons
They are.
He was mean to me.
They are strangely, the feathered parts of them are strangely the sort of
Pigeon-y?
blue-gray
Yes.
pigeon
Yeah.
feather.
Aw.
All right. 8 plus 1 is 9.
Okay.
So, so that's qualified success.
And that is a sway someone roll, right?
It doesn't exactly say. It just says
Who's one of the moves?
Yeah, they're compelled to battle me and not threaten anyone else. So-
Okay. Well, then, qualified, I'm going to say you've got half of them. You've got
Okay.
3 harpies' attention.
Yeah.
And
Alright.
the other 3 are still pretty focused on their descent.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel about that?
So AJ takes off into the air, screams at the harpies. Half of them peel off that way,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when I see, because he's not blocking me anymore, that Leo has grabbed hold of the device.
Mm-hmm.
Can I read the weave to see if he has caused this?
Oh, yeah.
Because my inclination is to yell at him and grab him away from him.
Right. Yeah.
But I want to know what
Yeah.
what Peter thinks about that.
Not boxcars.
No.
This can be a strange
There we go.
experience for
Yeah,
you.
I don't know how this works.
I don't just get everything I
How do you
always
add
wanted.
these numbers together? It's so small.
And let's
So it ends up
let's
being
say we're
an
doing read an artifact in this
Okay.
case as well.
Okay, so an 8.
An 8. All right, so you've got
2 questions.
two
on the
questions.
list? Okay.
Okay, one of them, one of your questions, I'm going to use up for you.
Okay, great.
Whatever Leo is doing is not did not make the harpies attack you.
Okay, great.
That was kind of your opening question, but then if you want an extra question off this list, then that's...
Okay. And I would say, where did this artifact come from? Because that's going to be kind of more important to me than who specifically made it.
That's a great question. I am going to answer it with a negative. It came from not the Greek gods.
Ah, okay, great.
You know what Greek magic tech looks like, and now that you're seeing it working, this is something that
has the outer trappings of a
it
Greek
is
thing,
pretending
but
to be Greek tech and is not.
Gotcha.
So
can I also...
the chassis is not Greek.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, the outside of it is
the
made
shell
to
is
look
the
like
chassis,
it.
is it?
Right. Yeah.
So can I also grab Leo and yank him away from the machine? Or is that a separate action?
Next round, I think for sure. Yeah. Because right now you're also dodging harpies who are trying to get at you, and also just so you know, next round, depending on what happens, you may take damage regardless of what you do.
Fair enough.
And you're still kind of stuck in your loop.
Okay.
The particularly bad roll. You are.
I can see so much.
You can see everything. You've shot into.
And I have long view, so I can see even further.
Oh, wow.
You've shot into the. Your perception is shot into the communication satellite, and if this were anyone else, they would have instantly gone insane. However, your attention is fractured and faceted across the dozen or so satellites that this one satellite connects to.
Okay.
And so you have now been transferred to your perception is multiplied by 12, and you're seeing all of these connections happen kind of in real time. However, I should say your perception is happening at the speed of light. So there's a whole bunch that's happening for you that is in slow motion for them, right? Or the other way around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, this information is bouncing
This is
through.
all happening in a very split second.
Yeah, you're watching it, this encrypted data become unencrypted and being disseminated out to devices. And as a side note, you can tell, like, somehow this signal is being told to broadcast basically to everything that can receive a signal, which seems really bizarre, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't think your character knows much about computers, does he?
It average use.
Just
like
basic, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then, without too much detail.
Yeah, it doesn't have an A+ certificate.
Yeah, right. It seems like this is not just a TV signal, or a radio signal. It's going across all the radio bands. It's bouncing off of Wi-Fi repeaters. It's
like sending text messages to every phone number.
Yeah, it's like text message, and what it resolves to is a link to a video, right? So if it's a text message, it's a link to a streaming video that's happening right now.
It's like getting the emergency alert on their cell phone.
Yeah.
And it's just this link.
Yeah. So that's happening pretty quickly. You may not get to see much more if he manages to pull you away from the machine.
Okay.
Actually, no. On your turn, I do want to give you a chance. Let's have you make a courage roll to try and disconnect from this.
It's going to be great.
This is a perform under pressure.
Yeah.
Now, I'm assuming you want to disconnect from this signal. Is that accurate?
Is this an unpleasant experience?
It's not unpleasant, and I should say you don't know that the harpies are there.
Yeah, okay. So I would probably be like intrigued. I want to see what the video is.
Okay.
I would be wanting to dig in further.
Okay. Well, then there's nothing to roll because you are going to be shown. You're on the path to be shown a whole lot of information. So.
Yeah, I want to see what this is.
Okay. Why don't we get back to you fighting harpies?
So by the way, so would that count as making an aggressive display?
You can either call it starting a fight or make an aggressive display.
Yeah, I was wondering. It's kind of
your display.
That's true.
So,
I did. I wasn't. Yeah.
You definitely get starting a fight. Take a thread for that.
Amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So.
10 or better lets you mark 2 threads at once, but
Yeah. Okay. So All right. Yeah. So I'm pretty much. It is time to just kick the crap out of some harpies.
I like it.
Yeah. So I am going to actually. I'm going to try and just kind of stun one of them and let gravity do the work.
Oh, okay.
So
boot to the head.
right. Yeah. So I have incredible move. So I'm just going to cannonball basically,
Sure.
or no, I think like a flying foot kick kind of thing,
As opposed to a hand kick.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Shut up. So, plus courage to leap, sprint, or fly at your enemy to stun them while also causing significant collateral damage. Which is, it's fine. 6 and 1 is 7, plus 2 is 9. So I cannot minimize the collateral damage, but yeah, so I just kind of like rear back a little bit and then just fly foot first into a harpy's head and just
All right.
just send them plummeting.
All right. So the collateral damage is this harpy drops from the sky. It's not dead, but it's definitely so stunned that it's not flying.
Yeah.
And drops directly onto Alex.
Oh.
Now, that is just a limp body falling 20 feet or
Right.
so.
Yeah.
But that's, I mean, a harpy is about half the size of a human. These harpies are. And
They're little.
yeah,
Okay.
well, I shouldn't say half the size of a human. Lots of humans are 3 feet tall. But they're, 3 foot tall, but they're not like the wispy little bird things. They're like nasty, sinewy, they're just claws and feathers and
Right. Yeah.
Maybe a little lighter than you think because the bird bones,
yeah.
thin bones. Although
yeah.
magic, so
Yeah,
maybe not,
magic.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Don't put physics in my magic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Says the science pantheon.
Don't conflate the two.
And part of the
Correlation
collateral
is not
damage
causation.
is the cloud of feathers. They're like these disgusting, greasy feathers. Like this in your mouth. It's in your hair. It's like everywhere. Like the dirt and filth of these creatures is all over you. The other two are trying to get at you too.
Yeah.
So I'm also going to have you take 2 harm. Do you have armor?
I don't.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you're fighting a whole group of them. As you invited them to. So,
Yes.
Okay.
Leo, what is your ranged weapon? Is it a bow? Or is it
I'm not sure. I was thinking it might be a sling.
Okay.
Just like
Sure. Yeah.
the really old fashioned.
Cool.
Yep. I like it.
It seems classic.
Had one person played a celestial with a wrist rocket.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, sweet.
Like the high-powered slingshot.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty fun.
Nice.
Cool.
I think we're back to you.
Okay. So I'm going to grab Leo by the shoulder and say, Leo, we need your sling, and pull him away from the machine.
Then nothing could go wrong with this.
Yeah, of course
It's
not.
a great
Not
plan.
at all.
I love
Great
everything
plan.
about it. I love everything about it.
Totally. Yeah.
I'm happy to be part of this plan.
I am not aware of this plan.
Yep. Why don't you do perform under pressure? I think a courage roll is good for this.
9, I believe. I have a courage +2.
Oh, nice. Okay, well you're at 8. Yeah.
Oh, 6. I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's great.
You're right. These numbers is hard.
What
I just got 6s.
do you want to pick a complication from the list, or shall I pick one for you? They never let me pick.
You know what? Go ahead and pick.
No, you don't want me to pick. Don't do that.
See, the thing is, I feel like, I don't know, like something breaks. That's sort of kind of what I also want to happen as the handler.
Yeah, whatever breaks will not be to your advantage.
Yeah, I know.
An ankle.
So if you're
No, honestly, go ahead and tell me
so
what
the 4
happens.
options
I'll give you my
4 options to choose from so far are to take 1 harm. The thing you're trying to do takes longer than it should. Something breaks, which is something not advantageous.
like
And
his sling arm.
and the result is only partially effective is another thing that could happen there. and I think it takes a little longer than it should to be able to put, like, there's
Okay, so
almost
I can't yank him off. I'm just shaking
well,
him.
you pull him and you get him disconnected. You had a successful roll, and the thing you set out to do was to pull him off the machine. So that succeeds, but it takes a little longer than you wanted it to, and you've got 3 harpies jumping on your back, so that's going to be 2 harm for you.
Okay.
And
fortunately, the ratty leather jacket, which doesn't look like much, is able to just shed their claws can't quite penetrate, and they keep
sweet.
slipping off.
That's epic armor?
That's my epic
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. I love it.
Very cool.
And you're going to take 1 harm as you are forcefully unplugged from this vision. However, I'm going to give you the end of what you see, because quite a bit more time passes for you than, you know.
So I'm moving at the speed of internet.
Right. So you actually get to see, even as people, like, things are loading, you know, people are like, wow, what is this thing going to be? Like, you are, like, you're beginning to understand. Like, you're just getting information, just raw knowing.
I'm connected to the backbone.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You're gigabit fiber all the way to the...
This is a T10 pipe.
Yeah. So much pipe. The video...
There's no latency.
has clear telemetry and apparent proof of there are several sun gods, like, getting off their shift. You know, like, the sun is setting, and this thing is showing them, like, unhitching their horses, and, like... I mean, never mind that the sun is still, like, it's still going, you know, like, it's just daytime for somebody else now.
Right.
But,
God, that makes my head hurt.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, sure, pulling the sun around, and then, you know, night, and they're off.
Yeah. No,
This is why the gods can't hang out with humanity, because they're capable of things that are impossible.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is why the recent sciences are just really frustrated with this.
Yeah, exactly. But the way this is set up is the telemetry data appears to be this sort of it's the kind of footage you use when you want to prove you're not doing animated effects. You're not doing it's supposed to be sort of like court admissible footage that is proven it's not been tampered with or anything, and that it's live, and that it's collecting multiple source.
Yeah, it's not doing the zoom in, zoom out.
Right.
You can hide things in.
Right. And so this is attempting to prove that Apollo and I can't remember any of the other sun guys. I mean, Ra is one of them. Ra is one of the ones who is the sun, I think, right?
Yeah.
And then there's somebody else who like swallows the sun at the end of the day. We're like, dude, can we have that back? Like, yeah, give me like 10 to 12 hours, and I'll give it back to you.
I'm regular.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
there's a Russian sun god who the sun is the chariot that he's driving.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name.
Kind of like Apollo.
Southeastern native tribes worship the Great Spirit as a sun.
The sun itself.
The sun itself.
Yeah. Okay. So there are just it's basically the equivalent of like a bunch of dudes getting off work, like fist bumping each other. Somebody high fives the sun. So it's like, whew, I get to take a nap. Like, actually, it's just daytime over there. Like, you don't get to sleep. It's a daytime in Japan.
But the Japan gods take over.
That's true.
Yeah, it's the video of one person at Disneyland taking off the Mickey head while there's another Mickey that walks out of the...
Right.
However, you're also, as you get yanked out of this, you realize, like, okay, no one's actually, because your time sense was so skewed, no one's actually seen the video yet.
Okay.
All right.
I saw the potential of people viewing the video.
That is what is coming down
being
the pipe.
transmitted.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I'll let you decide how you feel about that. So that was your action, and your action. I think it's your turn. So now you find yourself kind of, where did you like pull him off onto you, or is he just on the ground? Or
I think like two hands and then
grab
off to
him.
the side.
Okay,
yeah.
so you're sort of flopped onto the roof. There's 3 harpies trying to tear him apart. They don't seem to be getting through his jacket. This guy's up in the air with a couple more harpies. Alex has been clearly clobbered by a harpy that fell out of the sky. And we're left with, what do you want to do?
Yeah, that video does not seem to be particularly okay. Because if everybody knows the truth, there is no intrigue. I'm going to try to break the thing.
Okay.
Well, before it can transmit that.
That sounds great.
I guess that would be prowess. Would it be smite my enemies and my enemy is the machine?
Yeah, this could go a number of different ways. But yeah, I think if you want to just kick it, that's probably
there is a long drop right next to it.
Yeah, or I think maybe a courage roll. Like if you want to pick it up and fling it off the roof.
Or just
all
try
these
to
harpies are trying to get at you, and
it's got all the spinning things.
It is a pretty delicate.
It wasn't
device, yeah.
hard to knock it out of commission a moment ago.
All right, let's just do perform under pressure.
Okay,
that's really what you're trying to do is
and those are my worst
favorite.
stats.
Yeah, right?
yeah. Just stick your foot in there.
Right.
It'll be fine.
Trying to do the timing thing with the hammer.
Yeah.
But with my foot.
It's just what he did.
Yeah, it's like when he did
now,
the backwards.
Now, keep in mind, you do have a thread, so you could choose to purchase a 3rd die. You could also save it if you want to try to avoid some damage. You could... wait, where's the thread thing?
Could add a detail to the scene, something.
Yeah, you could add a detail.
All right.
That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You can spend threads one at a time. Not that you have to, but...
No, I would,
and also with the adding a die to a roll, you can roll your 2 dice
and then,
and
add it
then
after the
decide
fact.
if you want to spend it.
Okay. I think for now I'm just gonna to roll straight.
Okay.
And just see how this goes because I've got a different set of dice and try.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what could go wrong?
It's going to be fine.
Quite a bit,
Yeah.
but apparently
All
not.
right.
I can't read
It's
it.
a -1. Yeah, these are not easy to read. This is a 9, but -1, so it's 8.
Oh, that's 8. Okay, so that's
yeah.
still...
So it's a qualified success.
Okay, great. So is there something on the perform under pressure that you'd want to choose?
Something breaks in the good way.
No.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah.
Well, unless it's something
Oh,
you
I
don't
guess-
want to have break. Like,
Right.
here's the
Oh,
thing.
yeah, that's
you're,
right, yeah.
You're going to knock that sphere out of alignment. The thing is going to be done for a while.
Yeah. Would it be it takes longer than should and a little bit goes out? Or
That's potentially... Yeah, I mean, if it takes longer than it should, that's what's going to happen.
yeah, is maybe not the full video goes out, but there's still something.
That is possible.
I don't know. What do you think is most interesting?
It's entirely up to you. I like all the
I
options.
like that.
Yeah, I do too.
I like where it's not good enough to be admissible in court anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still something gets out.
I also love the idea that you kick this thing in like the one way that wouldn't disturb it. You know? And you're like,
It just
"Ugh."
goes like it like wobbles on one of its legs and then lands perfectly. And I'm like,
Yeah.
God damn it, kick it
like-
again.
Come on, you broke
I
so
broke it so-
easily.
and then I'm just like I kick it, it wobbles and like levels itself, and I go, wait, I touch it in the spot where
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so yeah, it finally.
but I dodge the sparks this time. so I don't get
it starts going wonky. It is still spinning and making noises and stuff, but it is definitely. And I think since you were tied into it, you have a little bit of a sense of this broadcast now, and you can tell that the broadcast has been interrupted.
Yeah, it's all garbled now.
Yeah. It's sort of like
It's going to look like typical conspiracy footage.
trying to watch the channel you didn't pay for.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Not that I know anything about that.
Yeah.
You can see this blurry spot is totally a god.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
If you you squint and look to the left, that's two gods high-fiving each other.
How does the sun even high five someone? How is that possible?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that thing's been slightly knocked out of kilter.
Okay.
Knocked off kilter, and it does look like it is gradually righting itself.
Ugh,
So
okay.
We'll see what happens there. Who'd like to? So we're just back to round 3 now.
Okay.
It doesn't have to go in the same order that it's gone before.
Are any of the harpies, besides the one that was kind of knocked out, are any of the harpies paying attention to Alex?
No, especially because Alex has been
Sort of covered under...
tackled
okay.
under
Yeah.
a still harpy.
Unconscious
So
harpy.
yeah, so Alex seems to be like safe.
She's gonna need a shower.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to make sure they are safe. So
Yeah,
maybe
2 showers.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, they're gonna take a day off. I think.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I don't know where, like, what mythology I got that harpies are, like, I don't know where I got the impression that harpies are filthy and disgusting, but that's
Well,
always...
they're you can smell them coming. Isn't that part of the?
No, that is part of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't recall it. I honestly think it's a Gygaxian thing.
Maybe.
I don't recall it actually
Mm.
being any of the Greek mythos, but I feel like they're always described in the Monster Manual as being
yeah.
filthy and disgusting.
Yeah.
And we've sort of
I'll
just
take it.
accepted that.
I'll
Yeah.
take it.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, my choice is simple. I stab.
Okay.
So,
Attack some harpies.
Yes. Yeah. So.
Oh, and as chat points out, Jen Human says they're also pigeon harpies. So
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
of course
That,
they
Of course,
that
they're
is...
disgusting.
Harpies?
Harp.
no,
Pig
nope, I'm
harpies?
nixing barpies.
Harpins?
Pig harpies?
Hargens,
Harpgies?
harpigeons.
Harpigeons. Harpigeons. Yeah. Harpigeons.
Harpigens of Doom?
Oh,
Wow.
Yes.
oh wow.
Oh, now I have harpagers of sorrow.
All right.
right.
Why don't you smite your enemies,
Yeah, I'm
Adam?
going to smite some enemies here. That's what I'm good at. Oh,
Not
come
today.
on. It's still a 7,
Oh, is it?
actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So, whoo! All right, so I'm going to choose... let's see. I think I will... gain an advantageous position.
Okay. So you have
So-
epic weapon.
Yes.
So you're going to do 4. Okay, so one of them is just cut down.
Yeah.
And you take 2 harm
Okay.
and cut one of them down. The one that's left just seems even further enraged. Like,
Of course.
should be scared off, but
Yeah.
like you're just like getting madder.
Yeah.
And smellier and louder.
Things are awful.
It's horrible,
Yeah.
yeah. But their cries sound like the horrible flocks of parrots that we hear around sometimes, and so
Nice.
it's somewhat masked by
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
they're just when you're right up in her face and she's screeching this horrible noise at you.
Yeah.
It's actually
Yeah.
part of the damage you're taking is because of that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the advantageous position that I get, can it be so that I get I sort of like, as I'm like cutting down this one and I'm like sort of driving down into like the others that are attacking them so that I can be...
Oh yeah, to sort of crowd them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're backing the one that's left backs into the 3 that are trying to get
Yeah.
him. Is that
Yes,
sound like
yeah.
what you're
so,
going for?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I just sort of like slam onto the ground and maybe superhero pose.
Although I would probably be more open to calling that make an opening for an ally.
Oh, okay.
Does that sound doable?
That's fine. And I mean, my real goal is to get where I can keep attention on me instead of on
Yeah.
fighting me, instead of like on get the 3 that are attacking them to like focus on me.
Yeah, well, I think that's going to be like
Yeah.
make an opening. I think if
Or maybe it's put them
Peter
in
gets
our-
himself out of there,
Yeah.
then their attention will be focused
Yeah.
on you. because you've also taken out 2 of their numbers.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that makes you enemy number 1.
Yeah.
So.
That's right.
Peter and Leo, he comes down, he cuts down one of them with the sword, charges the other one so that it backs up and backs down, like lowers down towards the roof, kind of crashes into the 3 that were trying to go after him. You're still kind of, I don't know, like
Still
half
kinda,
reclined,
yeah.
just chilling.
Rattled.
Yeah,
I probably haven't even noticed.
you've had a rough 100 milliseconds.
Yeah, and have I even noticed Alex, or is Alex out of sight?
Alex is kind of hard to see from here because they're like a little bit around by the maintenance door, and there's a harpy on top of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
So yeah, I probably don't notice anything's happened to them yet. So I'm getting attacked by harpies. I am probably going to try to sling at one of them.
Okay.
I assume that would be smite your enemies.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Does your one-shot thing help you?
It's somebody I found guilty of a morally repugnant crime. It's I don't think the harpies would really qualify.
Yeah, they are
for that.
repugnant, but not morally repugnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
they
this
just are
isn't-
who they are.
This
Right.
isn't the
Yeah.
judgment of
Criminals or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, it's a 4, but it's doubles.
all right. Take the thread. And a total of 4 then.
Yes, no 3. Sorry,
Okay.
it's smiting. That's +1.
Oh right, yeah.
So yeah, it's still pretty bad.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fine.
What? Yeah, smite doesn't say what happens on a miss. So
Oh well, it's just bad things happen.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you line up your shot. Your shot goes wide, and 2 of the harpies are, now very aware of your presence.
Yeah.
And they come in and deliver 2 harm.
This is why I only use this on my targets.
Yeah,
Right.
and preferably from much further away.
This isn't the target of one of my hunts. It's just a thing.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, that's kind of split their because there's 4 of them left, so that they're kind of split their attention a little bit now. What are you up to?
With them backed up that way, and I think I can see that AJ has taken some scratches and some wounds from all of this. I think I'm going to unfold, 'cause I use it sometimes, but an impossibly large wrench from this Leatherman.
Sure. Yeah.
And clobber the one that he backed
Yeah,
up
why
into
not?
us.
I like it.
In the back of the head.
Yeah, let's
So I'm
smite
gonna
your enemies.
Smite an enemy. 7, 8.
8. Okay.
Unless I get anything for the epic tool, but I'm not really using it the right way.
Oh yeah,
so-
no, not for this.
Yeah, I wouldn't give it to me.
but you are gonna fix their wagon. So,
Yeah.
I
still, every time I hear epic tool, I think it's an insult.
yeah.
Like,
Epic equipment.
epic equipment, maybe. Yeah.
That sounds more
You're an epic
complimentary.
equipment.
Right? Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Stop being such an equipment.
Right.
I think it's more fun to leave it as tool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is really.
I have an epic tool.
Yeah.
You are an epic tool.
Right.
Okay, so on a 7 to 9, I can choose one, which I think would just be go for the throat
Okay.
and just +1 harm to the enemy.
Okay. So that'll be.
So I'm assuming it's 2 harm for a regular melee weapon, +1 for go for the throat.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, it's normally 1 harm for melee weapons, and then the +1 would take it to 2.
Okay.
Oh, that's what you were saying?
Yep.
Yeah. Total of 2. Yeah.
Great.
So 2 harm to the harpies in that little group. So we're gonna say there's 2 on Pete and 2 on Leo, and that's kind of how they've split up. The one you dashed down, turn, and is just got clobbered, and so
Yeah, I stunned one. I slew one.
yeah, yeah. But they're somewhat distracted from your original
Yes.
instruction of "Hey, fight me."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all right.
Great.
I'm gonna reapply that.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, that's good. And you took 2 harm as well.
Yeah, but the
Oh, your
jacket
armor.
protects
Yeah,
me.
your armor sheds that, so no problem. And I think we're just on to the new round.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna be aggressive and like I just want to like sort of I don't know, just kind of like I'm gonna make an aggressive display.
Yeah,
but
all right.
but I want to just like what's the oh, that's not the one that stomp your feet and or shattering kaboom, but I love that description, but basically, yeah, I want to just like aggressively come at them, just like swinging, slashing. Like I want to be a whirlwind of activity, and like just barreling into the harpies and pushing them away from these guys.
All right. Well, do you want a version of if this goes well, you don't do damage, but the harpies don't do damage either? Or do you still want to be able to do damage?
Well, I don't care so much about dealing damage as getting the attention back on me.
Refocused on
So
you?
yeah, and if I do well enough, like I will heal 1 harm too with this move. But
Yeah, okay.
yeah. So, but yeah, that's kind of the goal, is like protect these guys. That's
Okay.
my job.
Yeah,
That's
we'll
what I
we'll
do.
customize the move a little bit on the fly. So go ahead and roll.
Right. But yeah, I don't care if I do damage. But
8.
8 plus the
Is it-
awe
Is it
is.
prowess?
Is that
No,
double?
it's an awe move,
Oh,
which
okay,
is
so
just
it's
plus
plus
1,
one.
so it's a 9. Damn it, I want that other
Is that
point.
not a 5? The other
Huh?
one? Those
That's
both
a 4.
fours?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
four
okay.
fours. Oh, they're doubles.
Yeah, so you
Right.
got doubles thread.
Okay.
I think this is the most doubles I've seen.
I know, right? Yeah.
In like
yeah,
a
we've got a
4-hour
lot.
session.
There's no way to get a plus 1, right? Other than I could add a die to the.
You could slip me $100. That's an easy +1 right there.
That's in the new version of the rules.
Yep.
So when you
Right. Yeah. You know what?
Venmo, PayPal.
I'm going to spin that thread that I just got to add a die to the roll.
Okay. Did you have a thread before?
I did.
Okay, yeah. You have to have a thread before the roll
Yes.
to spend
I'm
it
gonna
on that
spin
roll.
my old thread.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a totally...
Oh, but and then you might not get a new thread because then you might not have doubles, right?
yes.
Because whatever
yeah.
you
Oh wait,
choose for
this
your.
but this adds to the roll, or
It's you take the 2 highest.
oh I don't want to do that then, because it's yeah. I just need 1. I just need a plus 1. Okay. Anyway.
Well, wait a minute. What's the other thing you can do with thread?
Oh, help! I can get help.
Yes.
One of my compatriots could help me somehow.
Yeah.
Well, there also has been during this discussion a Vampire 54 has redeemed help a player
Oh, okay.
for Adam.
Oh,
yes.
well,
So-
perfect. So go ahead and roll your 3rd die.
Right. Okay. But this adds to it, right?
Well, it's
Wait.
it's still the normal advantage, but you don't have to spend a thread to get it.
But
Oh, okay.
will the double still give him that thread?
No.
No. But if
well,
he rolls a 5 or 6, then he gets
yeah,
over
what,
the 10. That
yeah,
he
what
Yeah.
you need is a 5 or 6,
Right. Yeah.
and
yeah.
then
And you'll still have your original
yes.
thread.
Yeah.
yeah.
Ah,
There it is.
fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So-
thank you. Who was that?
Vampire 54.
Thank you, Vampire
Awesome.
54. Yeah. All right.
So no doubles thread,
yes.
but you do succeed without having to get help of these weaklings.
yes. Right. Yeah.
So much better than the 53 vampires that preceded you.
They were.
I always think
worthless.
it's like Car 54, where are you?
Yeah.
Vampire 54, where are you?
Yeah. Vampire 54 is like
kinda
a
awesome.
long-time listener,
Yes,
watcher
yeah.
of our.
Oh,
He's
nice.
been around for a long time, yeah.
So, so I heal 1 harm when I get a 10 plus on
Okay.
that. So which I assume is just the magic or the divine energy like flowing through me and
Yeah.
invigorating
It's
me.
the sheer chutzpah
Yeah.
of your daring.
Yes. Yeah. So I slash and whirl, and I'm just like a blinding zephyr of steel or actually I don't know what it's made out
Yeah,
of.
and the main purpose is
Yes.
an intimidation, or they're going to attack you,
Actually,
or
like bronze. Yeah, to like. I'm inciting violence, so
Yeah, okay.
so I'm making it clear like I'm the only one who you can defeat here.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you don't all gang up on me right now, you'll never get to these two.
Yeah, okay.
You know?
Okay, I like that.
Like,
Yeah.
I am the threat you have to take care of.
Yeah,
So,
they seem thoroughly convinced.
Yeah.
And are sort of squaring off and spreading out, the four of them trying to figure out how to overwhelm you.
Yeah.
And they're realizing, wow, we should have done this when there was 6 of us.
Probably would have gone better for you.
Okay, guys?
I'm trying to just figure if there's something else I can do better than just whack another one with a wrench.
Maybe.
So you did succeed in shorting out the device or flipping it over the
So
edge,
you
or
mentioned
what
that it
happened?
seemed to be righting itself.
It is
though.
repairing itself.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe you
It's
can.
hard to tell how long that'll take, but it's making less noise than it was a moment ago.
Okay. Can I notice that and do
yeah.
something to it?
Yeah, that's pretty easy for you to notice, especially with your earlier rolls for
Okay.
understanding this device. Those all still apply in this timeline,
Okay.
in this amount of time, I mean. Yeah, it's pretty obvious to you that it's fixing itself.
Okay. Then I want to.
Hit it with a hammer.
Yeah, actually, I want to. I'm not sure if this would be a smite or a prowess or a courage
This is
item.
the courage roll for
Okay,
something like
it's going to be a
this.
courage roll.
Yeah,
Cool.
because you're trying to unfix it.
Okay, and there's a time limit here
Yeah.
because I don't know how long it's going to take.
Mm-hmm.
Do I get any bonus for having the correct tool for the job?
Let's. I think that is going to be partially canceled out by the fact that you've got all these harpies around. Even though he's got their attention,
No, fair enough.
you're not at disadvantage.
Right,
You're not at
we're
advantage.
still tangled.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Sounds
I like it
fair.
though.
You got to ask, or the answer's no.
Uh huh.
Oh, and I
Ooh.
really needed it. Oh,
What's the courage at?
still 6.
Okay, so
Still a failure.
if Matt, if you want to use your turn to help, you could try that. You could roll the dice, add the number of tangles that you have with that Leo has with Peter,
Okay. Well,
And-
that's 2 tangles, so that's a decent bonus.
and if you get just a basic success, you'll be able to help
Yeah, let's give that a shot.
him out.
I'll get another swift kick.
Ooh,
so I get
nice.
9 plus 2, so yeah, 11.
Oh yeah, so you get the +1 to your roll, and you get a thread for
Oh.
him helping you out.
Excellent.
Let me show you how it's done.
Yeah.
Next time I need to break something,
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
I've been kicking this thing for a while. I know where to kick it. So yeah, you're able to point out like, no, this is what I did last time, and that really hurt it. You're like, okay, let me get the proper tools in there. And
It's like,
with
no,
your
when I touched it, that first place you told me to touch it, it made sparks happen.
however, so that was a great assistance on your part, but that just brought you up to a 7, right?
It's just a +1?
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Okay, so that's a still
Qualified
qualified
success.
success on perform under pressure. I'm gonna say, well, you can pick one, or I can pick one.
It is...
And by the way, the harm in this case would not be alleviated by your jacket.
I figured that would not be...
Unavoidable harm.
No, I realized that it's... Because I can't just take that every time. Like, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
My leather jacket is also grounded.
Yeah. It's very practical.
Yes.
I think that the result is only partially effective. So I don't think I fully broke it, but I've
Okay.
delayed it or reset it back
Yeah,
to
yeah,
the...
yeah. You got it back off kilter again, but it's still, it's not so far off. It's still like,
If I can just turn this pin, I can't get the... Oh, I wish these were longer
Yeah.
needle nose. Oh.
the two of you working together are, definitely, being very productive.
Whacked
Oh, you
guys
did
out
it
of whack
again.
Yeah.
I was expecting
How
this
do
to
I
be...
avoid this every other game? And I did it like 3
Headbutting.
times.
It does seem like you're
could be on my
8
pillows.
inches further that way.
Because you're usually hunched over.
That's right. Yeah.
You have to go into like armadillo mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to go at your full height, which now interferes with the camera.
All right, so that's your actions. Trying to get this thing to stop working, and It's also worth noting that there's a grunt, like an annoyed, ugh, and the passed out harpy is slumped over, and Alex is pulling themselves out from under this harpy, and Alex is getting to their feet, and the harpy is also waking up. You just kicked him in the head, right?
Stunned.
Yeah. So that harpy is also like, what? And then Alex is right there. So that's sort of happening in the background. I don't know that you two would have a good view of that happening, but you can see that pretty clearly.
Yeah.
It also is double good because Alex is your love interest.
Right, yes, yeah. I'm like aware. I'm a battlefield awareness guy. Like, this is the one thing I'm like, oh, yeah, this I get. Like,
Yeah.
All right. All right. Are we back around to me?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think we all went.
Probably a good time to do that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like it's time to just start slashing these things down. Yeah, so I'm gonna smite my enemies.
You've got the 4 right next to you.
Yes.
There's one sort of groggy one over with Alex.
Yeah.
That's a little ways away, like 50 feet away, probably.
Yeah. I'm smiting any one of these.
Okay, so the 4 that are next to you?
Yes.
Okay.
8 plus 2 is 10. So I do the 4 harm against them, and I'm going to protect myself, and I am going to I'm going to because I think like my sword's already killed one of them, like slashing through, so I feel like that's going to be okay. I don't need more damage. Do I? I'm going to gain an advantageous position. So,
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to move the whole fight, so like they're still focused on me, but I'm moving towards Alex so that I can.
You're
be in
moving
a
the party.
position. Yes, I'm
Yeah.
moving the party.
Okay.
Like,
That's
come
right. And it's
on.
also away from these guys who are trying to rig the box.
Yeah,
so
it's away from them towards where I can go over to protect Alex. So,
yeah, that works. And you're wanting to take less harm.
Yes.
So let's see. You're fighting 4 at a time. So that would have been 3. So you're down to 2 harm.
Ooh.
However, as you slash through them, one of them kind of ducks under the attack, and then the next one didn't really see it coming well enough, and the head just comes clean off.
Yes.
So you're down to 3,
All right.
and the one with
3
Alex.
plus the stunned.
And as soon as when you do that, the harpy over there becomes more alert when it sees another harpy die, and it starts to get up, and Alex is like, ah! and like whips this mace out, like spray mace.
Oh.
I'm like, whoa, Morning Star!
Yeah. Alex is a cleric.
Surprise badass.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
He's got a little like squirt thing of mace, right?
Right.
Sprays it at the thing, but unfortunately it just goes.
It makes it smell a little
Yeah,
better.
it's like like a like a banaka shot.
Where did you get this delicious scent?
Yeah, it is totally ineffective in fighting harpies, unfortunately.
Oh.
It's great.
Yeah.
So are we able to see that, or is that still?
Yeah, no, that's yeah. You guys are definitely aware of this as you're like keeping an eye on the fight and trying to figure out how to rig this box or do something to it. But yeah, we can go in whatever order too. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to go after the harpy that's on the roof. The one by Alex.
Yeah,
I was
all of them
distracted
are on
by
the roof,
the
but yeah.
delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great, and it's also out of you're out of melee range now, so your attacks are basically like you're not going to take harm for doing an attack.
Okay.
'Cause
So
they
I could try to sling at it.
Yeah, harpies don't. These harpies don't have a ranged attack of any kind. So
Okay.
Good.
So yeah, I'll give that a shot since I've got my sling
cool.
and see if I can get that away from Alex. So that would be smite my enemy. hopefully my enemy is not Alex. 5, 6, 7 plus 1 is 8.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
So you get to pick one of the things from the smite list.
Gen Human says use hairspray instead, or even better, travel size Febreze.
Oh yeah, Febreze is their enemy for sure. Lysol spray.
You do the
so nice.
the non-scented Febreze, and they just disappear.
Yeah.
I'm not going to need to go for a throat because it's an epic weapon.
You're right. That is, your math is correct.
Yeah.
You don't need to protect yourself because you're out of their range.
Is there
of their
something to take from them? I don't know. They're harpies. I don't think I want anything.
No, you don't want anything
have.
they have to give you.
You can make an opening for an ally. Maybe
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm not sure what kind of opening this would be, but
Well, it does take. I mean, he's
Narrative.
basically between two fights right now.
Yeah.
So that it creates kind of an opening in that you get to focus your attention on these three that are left.
okay, yeah.
So yeah, that's great. I mean, aside from just killing this thing outright, you make
Give a
it
tangible
obvious that-
relief for AJ.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like it. And it,
Nice,
like I said,
yeah,
like
yeah.
some of these are still in development. Like, what does advantageous position mean? I don't know.
Is AJ Apollo Jr.?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
AJ.
Oh no!
Oh, Apollo
Jr.
Jr.
You've done
his
it
name.
again.
Yeah.
You've done it again, Otto.
Oh no!
I'm sorry to
Yes.
derail it, but
Yes. No, this is
thing
exactly the
is,
rail we're meant to
He
be on.
derailed it hours ago, and we just didn't
right,
notice.
I just didn't notice. I'm just the one who looked up and said, "Why are we in Hoboken?"
Totally.
Oh, this is fantastic.
I did not plan that.
Yeah,
No.
you did.
No.
Yeah, you did.
I was like, I
They
don't
do
know.
say you are the master of namology.
That is beautiful.
I have the best name somehow. For good or my powers work for good and evil. Yeah.
They mustn't fall into the wrong hands.
All right.
Oh my god.
Um,
I have to post it. So for those familiar with the autograph thing, I was playing this game, this PS4 game called TKO with my family this week, and they actually created autograph T-shirts as part of this game in order to make fun of me. So I will have to post those on the Interpol X forum. I'll put those out there.
yeah, that was great.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you lob your sling. What kind of projectiles do you use?
I kind of imagining like marbles or
Sure.
Oh yeah.
or just like a sack of marbles.
Why not? Yeah, especially because a lot of them sometimes they're like little like crystal balls, you know, like that.
yeah.
Like you look into
Oh,
it, and
nice,
that's
yeah.
your little cat's eye marbles.
It's also possible Alex sees the marble and is like, "That was mine.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
I lost this 10 years
Where'd you
ago."
get all these marbles? Yeah, probably. Yeah, so you whip that thing over there, and it just boonk, headshot. It's down, and you've got a lot less to worry about.
Nice.
AJ Apollo Jr. And Peter.
I'm going to try again to sabotage the device and make it stop working.
Mm-hmm. Seems like a good idea.
9.
Okay. Now we're kind of at the end of the round. However, if anyone wants to say their next round's action is to help him, we can do a sort of pay it forward move.
Can I offer you a different bargain?
Oh, sure.
See what you want to do. I'm willing to sacrifice my epic tool on a temporary basis, like we'll come back later, but just to jam it in and let the whole thing go ba-boom.
Okay, but temporarily unavailable
But
for
like
the moment.
however many scenes you decide until I can get back to my workshop or
I
something
like that. I like that. Yeah, yeah. It's going to be broken until you can get back and fix it properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I love it. That's worth a +1.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Um,
So I can't get that screw, and I just say, screw it, and shove the Leatherman right into the middle of the armoire to make everything stop and
All right.
explode.
Yeah, for a total of 10, you
There you
get
go.
it done. That is
Nice.
that machine is
Worthy
stopped,
sacrifice. Yeah.
and it grinds. There's a horrible screeching noise as it grinds to a halt, and it seems like the innards. Well, it doesn't seem like, you could see because you've ripped part of it open, past the panel and the cover on it. The inside
Roman.
is
Always trying to rip off the Greeks.
Right.
there's a bunch of like clockwork stuff that is obviously, it's made to look like it's running clockwork, but you've pushed past that, and inside you can actually see like the black cases of hard drives and batteries and wiring and that kind of stuff. So there's some high-tech guts in this thing that was made to look like not.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right.
So it's less magic, more tech.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't we come back around to dealing with the remaining harpies?
Yeah, because I'm just gonna smite.
Okay.
By the way, so I have this Great Vengeance move, which allows me to retaliate against attack made against me or someone under my protection. So is that kind of thing that I can like interrupt, like if they're about to get hurt by a harpy, like I can
if I say somebody's taking damage, you can go, oh, actually I want to use my next action to get in the way of that.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. So, but right now I'm just smiting.
And doubles.
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 And a 5 and a 10. I mean,
Juicy.
It's 12. I like it. So, so I'm going to protect myself again because I'm getting low on harm. And then,
and you're down to taking 2 harm. So, so you would just take 1 if you protect yourself.
Okay, good. That keeps me from completely dying. And then I'm going to.
That's all right. In Demigods, death is not the end.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. So maybe in our next playtest we can go into the afterworld and. And then I'm going to.
I'm not asking for it, but I just want to say I was kind of like, if it worked out and I ended up dying in this, I was kind of really sort of looking forward to doing all of the, like, I'll unlock the door and tripping the breakers and doing all that stuff and being like this tech spirit.
Oh, that's awesome, yeah.
Yeah, I think the death moves are fun. I haven't really gotten to playtest them very much yet, but...
Yeah.
But also, though, putting in for the GM's note in the book, like, I'm hoping to publish all this. If you're listening along and you don't know, hoping to get in line to get this published as a proper RPG book. But the GM's note would be to not spend more than, like, 1 game session having someone be dead.
Sure.
You know, you got to really power through that. Like, maybe get into the underworld, recover their body, they're restored, and now they have to work on getting out of the underworld, whichever sort of Pantheon's underworld they're in.
Yeah.
Which is super fun, and you can do all that stuff. But like, get the person back to their body as quickly as possible.
Right, yeah.
Or just say they're dead. You know, like that's in or out. Don't spend too much time in the doorway.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put the enemy in an awkward position so that they're kind of like I sort of corner them up.
Why don't you just throw them off the roof?
Oh, hey, yeah, okay.
Because
But I kill one of them. Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to ruin your surprise there.
My deft, sneaky plan.
You are the literal worst person.
I am. That is a fact. Okay,
no,
so you picked.
I'm protecting myself, and I'm putting them in an awkward position. So I'm kind of like, I'm now working them into the corner so that they can't, like, they have to go past me.
Okay. Yeah, so they're definitely locked in the fight. And you're doing another 4 harm? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, 4 harm. So
Okay.
I'm assuming it totally takes out another one.
Yeah, they're down to 2.
So, yeah.
They're in a tight spot.
Yeah. So it's either like I'm kind of putting them like fly away or come at me.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah. Yeah, they're looking pretty discouraged.
Yes.
PBtA also suggests that to put the enemy in an awkward position, you could have them have dinner with their racist uncle.
Oh, yeah. The worst.
Right. Yes.
The worst.
So how many harpies do we still have standing?
We've got 2.
2.
And, everyone else has been taken care of one way or the other.
Okay. Because we've got a couple of us kind of approaching
Oh yeah, I'm hurting.
That is
maximum harm.
Yes.
So rather than try to get info out of the machine, which was my first instinct, I'm going to try to take out one of the harpies he's engaged with.
Okay.
Okay.
Because that's an awkward wedding waiting to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, we're really close to me getting to play out that death move. Who knows? Yeah.
Which one is yours?
Mine is I can basically give them my spirit and add my prowess.
Oh, you could just help
stat
people.
to them.
Okay.
for-
Yeah, he just adds his prowess to your prowess.
Yeah.
And,
Plant your feet.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's all in the wrist.
Again,
Yeah.
I'm not wishing this on you, but I kind of hope that goes through, and then you're just that voice in my ear, and it's like the most irritating backseat driver.
Oh, right? Yeah, yeah. And also, it would be great if I just, possessed you to just, run, charge in screaming at this last thing. And,
Stop trying
avenge
to
me.
help on the tech stuff. This one's mine.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to roll a smite one of the harpies.
Yes.
Yeah. From range, right?
Yeah, with
Yeah.
whistling. 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9.
9. Okay, great.
Okay.
So you get to pick one of the things from Smite.
I would just put the enemy in an awkward position because there's only one left, and that was not their plan.
Yeah.
Or maybe take something from them. Maybe the bullet goes all the way through and then clips the remaining one's wings. Take their flight from them, or take some flight control from them.
Well, here's a suggestion. You take out one of them and remove the other one's willingness to keep fighting,
Okay.
and
yeah.
and it flees.
Okay.
If that's, I mean, it's not going to get super far, super fast. In case you
Yeah.
guys still want to do something with it, but yeah, that
It was largely AJ's choice.
yeah,
right,
it's
yeah,
another
yeah.
sort of, and
Yeah.
you knock this other one in the noggin. It's down for good, and the other one, seeing that it is a solo harpy, which doesn't work super well for harpies, just sees the kind of situation. it's in,
overwhelming numbers.
and
So after he uses his sling on the second to last one, the last one realizes it's between a rock and a hard place.
oh boy, yes, yeah, that's great.
Yep.
Oh, epic. That's well done. Well done, sir.
Thank you.
That is epically worth a thread.
I get a thread
yeah,
on that?
Yeah, please
Excellent.
take a thread. Yeah, that is epic pun. And the last harpy is turning to dive off the side of the building.
Okay.
So I'll let you guys decide how you want
Yeah.
to deal with that. But
Yeah, I want to. I actually kind of. Are these things? Do they have any intelligence? Can they talk?
yeah, I mean, yeah, they were sort of squawking at each other and yeah, get him, and yeah, I mean, they were
Okay.
speaking. Yeah.
Okay. Enough that it might help to catch it. So, all right. So I'm gonna dive after it and just I want to just grab it and bear hug or whatever and catch it.
To capture it.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna make that a courage roll.
Okay.
Perform under pressure. Ooh, me likey.
It's a 5.
Oh, that's a long ways away from success.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna spin a thread.
Okay. I mean, you could just re-roll the 1 because
yeah.
that's not getting any
'Cause
worse.
It's not getting any worse. That's true.
Is that a 1 again?
No, it's
it's a 3.
3.
So
So,
it's
it
a
gives
3,
me
yeah.
a 7. So
So
Okay.
that is
Get
enough.
to 7.
So yeah,
That was
so-
worth a thread.
Oh.
Does he gain a thread because it's doubles now? So he chooses the thread.
Oh,
three?
yeah, it is doubles.
Oh, cool. Get that back.
I don't think take one harm is the right complication to pick.
I don't know, because it could be a lot of fun if we ever get to like continue. But yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna let you pick, Jason. So
Okay.
I'm gonna let you pick what gets to happen. But yeah, I need a complication, but I grab.
Well, the grab happened a little later than it should have, and the thing had been sort of like panicked flight and not, it was trying to get some downward momentum to be able to swoop.
Yeah.
And you caught it before it could swoop, which means we were going down really fast.
Yeah.
And you hit the pavement.
Oh.
No.
So you don't have a live capture.
Missed it by that much.
And it's worth a harm.
Oh.
It's both. Unfortunately, I'm going to double down on this. When you give it to me, bad stuff happens.
I know, right?
It's
Something breaks my skull.
sort of like that last minute thwip,
Oh,
I don't want to spoil anything.
Sure.
Well, that was the 70s, wasn't it?
Yeah, right, yeah. I think
What? How dare you? How
Oh,
dare you?
it's safe to spoil Spider-Man from the 70s.
It's safe to spoil how the Silver Age ended.
Right, yes. That's true. It was the same
Yeah.
Silver Age, wasn't it? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. You grab this thing and you're, so who does number 2 work for? And you swoop into the ground because you're
It's like, oops.
yeah. And
So does that mean AJ is dead?
a little bit. Yeah.
He's not just dead, he's mostly dead.
just mostly
It's
dead.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and for a demigod, that was just exactly 7, right?
Yes, that was exactly 7.
So there's also room for like CPR in this situation, right? Like he's really tough.
you guys are like
right?
30 stories up.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Alex, they taught you first aid when you were in the counseling office, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You have a Band-Aid.
so that's
An
something to
epic
consider.
Band-Aid.
However, up on the roof, which your spirit is present for, because you are kind of dead.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
you're aware of people gathering around you and like, what is this disgusting thing that fell with him? But your awareness is sort of rising.
Yeah.
The path to Elysium is opening. The fields of Elysium. Wait, am I saying that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Elysium fields. And as you're rising up, you're like, oh, I know those guys
Yeah.
on the roof there. And
Whoa.
And you find yourself actually super cognizant. Suddenly you're like, whoa, okay, yes, I just died, I'm dead, except I'm still here, I need to deal with the situation. So here's what's happening on the roof. Your friend just went over the edge, maybe not totally sure, maybe you're in the process of like, what happened over there? Or he's probably going to fly back up because that's what's always happening.
Right.
Any
minute now.
Yeah.
Any second now.
Yeah, Alex is
And
like...
then we hear the scream from
Yeah. You do hear screeching and horns and but I mean 30 stories is a long ways away to hear specifics. And Alex is getting had been fighting the harpy in front of the door, and had got knocked down again and is getting back up, and then the door flies open and Alex gets shoved bonked out of the way.
Oh no.
And I'm going to say you guys were there when the messenger brought the thing, because it's the same messenger who shows up, and he comes out onto the roof. He's like, how could you have screwed this up? How could you have done so poorly at this? You had one job. And he's like shaking. And I think probably you should go ahead and roll judgment on this.
Read a person.
Yeah, I am.
Because your first glance is like, so normally demigods right away, they're like, oh, that's another demigod. Okay, I know what I'm dealing with. And that's kind of your first impression.
Okay.
But there's something not right.
Okay.
So I'd like you to roll judgment.
Well, and we already know what they told us was going on was not what was going on. So, 4, 6. Does anybody want to help me?
Yeah.
I think if I can.
yeah,
I
if there's a way for your perception to help his perception, I'm open to it. Like, do you see
Maybe
that?
you recognize something in common with the artifact. The tweaked
Yeah, since I've had a
artifact that you revealed?
good glimpse of something else
roll,
that's
roll
not.
plus your tangles with
Okay.
him.
I think I just have one with Leo.
Okay.
Oh, there's the box.
There's the box shot. Okay, so you get bumped to 7, and you get a
Okay.
thread.
Okay.
And the at a 7, I'm going to give you the. Well, let's see. What is? So normally you would get to pick 2 questions from read a person.
Yeah.
You're going to get one of them. One answer that you're getting is this is a god wrapped in mortal form. And
Okay.
then you can ask another question from this list.
So I think what it probably takes the form of is as you like zoom in and do your whatever that judgment gaze is that you have.
Yeah.
I just whisper the word tech to you. I don't know
Okay.
that that'll necessarily the thing, but that's like because you were looking at the armillary as well.
Yeah. I think, what does this person want with me?
It with you, nothing specifically, but it's their eyes are just burning with vengeance, and the strangest thing, the thing that you're really starting to realize is that, you know, because now the sun's gone down, you know, so it's fairly dark up here. There's just like service lights, so airplanes don't bonk into the building. That's what happens if an airplane. It just bonks and bounces off.
Right, yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
you know.
Right.
Your
But
understanding of reality is uncanny.
yeah, that's
That's
how
why
it
he
goes.
designed a world in which that can be perfectly fine.
that's real life.
I'm
That's how real
feeling the
life works.
verisimilitude.
Right, yeah.
And it makes that noise. Boonk.
I don't know if you've been checking the time, but we're at
Yeah.
9:45.
Yeah, that's all right.
Cool.
Because this is a god and you can't fight
Right,
him.
right.
He has instead of
I think I've got a proton pack. in here.
eyeballs. Instead of eyeballs, they're just glittering star fields. And he. Yeah, I mean, you could his expression is furious, but he is essentially ignoring you two and just walking straight over to the case.
Okay.
And his mutter, he has mutter. He's like, all we had to do was show them. If we could just show them, people would know, and it would be fine. There's one thing you had to do, and as he's going,
I'm trying to fold it back in the case and grab the case.
oh, okay.
Like as he is stalking towards it, I'm rapidly trying to refold and put everything back in.
What are you going to do with it?
Grab it and run
Run.
To where?
around him.
What about an extraplanar location?
Oh, that's true. I could just. Oh, that's a good idea.
Oh.
Yes, I want to fold it up and then I want to unzip and hop into my workshop.
All right, let's make a courage roll for
Okay.
that. That sounds pretty fucking cool.
And you hear a voice in your head go, "Get them all out now." And I'm going to
Oh,
help,
nice for
help
tactical.
him to add my prowess.
Okay. Well, this is a courage roll, but sure, add your courage to this.
7 and courage 9.
Okay, we are going to need a 10 on this.
Yes,
because
Okay.
you're
so-
going up against a god.
Yeah, so I
Sure,
just
sure,
have one tangle with you.
I don't have anything extra with the workshop. Okay.
8 plus 1 is 9. So with the success, what is it?
You add 1 to the roll. With a
with
9,
the
he doesn't.
successful help someone roll, you may add your prowess stat, which is plus 2, to someone else's for 1 move. So
Oh,
it actually
okay.
gives you plus 2.
Okay,
Not that
great.
it matters, but yeah.
Awesome. So, yeah, you.
Feel the courage of AJ.
You know what I also think it is I have the I don't care about tech from AJ as well.
Right, yeah.
So I'm just slamming things together in the case.
Yes.
And then
Yes. Yeah.
We'll unplug it and plug it back in later.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need to power it down. I'm not going to eject the drive.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I just yank it out.
You didn't eject the drive. That's epic.
Yeah.
So yeah, you grab that, fold it up, hop in there. I guess maybe is it all right if your friend comes along?
Yeah.
Oh,
And Alex.
yeah. Well,
And Alex.
can I get Alex in there?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
then
I
great.
think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because Alex was coming, like, kind of following behind this god.
Okay.
And the
Just you don't want to deal with this.
yeah, I think probably lastly, just to be able to identify this person, go ahead and do a judgment roll for me again.
Okay.
Did you use all your questions?
I'm going to use a thread.
Okay.
Or wait, no, that's 7.
Okay.
Is 7
Yeah.
good enough?
Seven's good enough in
Okay.
this
Yeah,
case.
that's
Yeah,
right.
you've had
Yeah,
enough
you
time.
only got
As the mortal incarnation of astronomy himself.
Oh.
Is just barely out of grasping distance. You grab the thing, fold it up, jump through, and it's clear astronomy is astonished that he cannot follow into this thing. Like just completely beside himself. He's not able to get the thing, and as he's turning around to take his fury out on somebody, you're like, yoink! You're right by him, in through the gap as well.
See you, spaceman.
And I think my shade just sort of strolls past him with the.
He feels like somebody's
with-
flipping him off.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's like somebody's flipping me off, and I can't tell from where.
I love it. I love it.
The parts are on back order. It's going to take 2 weeks.
And we'll close there. Yeah, our next adventure
Yeah.
would be having to traipse into the Elysium and
Yeah.
try to recover your cross the river
Yeah.
sticks. And,
Yeah. You guys get in there, and AJ's like, "All right, we got a new mission."
Yeah. I'm a little bit dead. Mostly
Nice.
dead.
Mostly
Yeah.
dead.
Well, thank you guys for coming to the playtest.
Yeah.
I
Oh, no,
know
this
it was
was
last
great.
minute and everything, but hope you had a good time. Also for our listeners, the last year I did a D&D, a run of D&D for the period of time at Ren Fair, because a bunch of the people from Happy Jacks are also Ren Fair folks, and there was a big gap in the programming. So I will be filling that hole for you again, the Jack hole. I am the Jack hole filler. And so that run in the spring, but instead of D&D this time, it will be a more fully formed run of Demigods for actually an extended period. And we don't know who's going to be in it or what the availability or exact timing, but it's going to be another Sunday run probably, and have a number of consecutive playthroughs of that.
I volunteer as tribute.
Okay, well, we'll. I have no more information than that. I just was happy to get to. I had firmed that up with Kimmy, so that's on the docket. Well, I don't know the exact dates yet, but I'm really looking forward to it, and hopefully should have my rule book finished by then.
Cool.
Awesome.
For myself, I love this. It's a great system for the world, but I love the world that you've put together and all of the really cool stuff you can do with the demigods and the new gods. And I mean, anything I can do to help make the rulebook a reality, or any other playtesting.
Oh yeah, thanks. I'm pretty close to being able to. I'm going to need to release this to GMs to run without me there. You know, because that's the thing. Like, I can get in and tweak things where somebody's like, "How do we do this?" Like, I don't know, table flip it, you know. But it has to be able to stand alone if it's going to live out in the world. So
everyone in chat is saying that they liked it.
Oh, well.
and had a great time too.
Thanks everybody.
Yeah,
I'm glad you had a good time.
I got a big kick out of it. I like that.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I'm really glad. Yeah, some of the combat stuff is a little wonky, but I think it's okay, especially because death isn't super permanent.
Yeah.
It's semi-permanent.
Yeah.
and there's certainly situations where just heroically and in the moment, like, oh yeah, your character is dead. Like that's the right thing for the story, and that's you know. That's what happened. Like honestly, if you guys go toe to toe with a god, that's the kind of thing that happens. You know, don't do that. So yeah, that's. Anyway, hope to have lots more information out soon. Thanks everyone for joining us, especially at the last minute. You know, we just pulled this together for funsies, and thanks everyone for joining us. Thanks everyone who watches later on the YouTubes or the podcast. Let's just go around to our players again. We had Nick.
Sorry, I was looking at what people were saying. And everything.
Yeah, that's all right.
My name is Nick. As always, it was a pleasure to be on the stream, and I hope you all had a good time too.
I'm Adam, and thank you for watching. And don't forget to tune in on alternating Mondays.
Every Monday.
Every Monday.
To see me.
Yes, to see Jason.
Bow, bow, bow.
So to see
so
Interpol X with me as GM and Jason as one of our characters, and then the alternating Mondays would be, what's it called? Insert Coin?
Insert Coin.
Insert Coin, a Tales from the Loop game featuring Nick and Jason.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and I'm Matt Gardner, and thank you for having.
Yeah, what was the name of your book again?
My book is Alabaster Shadows.
Awesome.
The short pitch is it's kid-friendly Lovecraft.
Oh,
so if
nice.
you want to see how that works, it's on Amazon.
You can also check him out on YouTube at Floating Hand Studios.
Yes,
Oh, cool.
I do a bunch of like cartoons and stuff.
Great.
Oh,
Well,
that's
thanks
great.
so much
Oh,
for
cool.
joining us.
Yeah.
And I'm Jason Mills. I'm the author of Demigods, Powered by the Apocalypse.
All right.
Thanks so much, and we'll see you again soon.
Bye.
Bye.
No, they're not supposed to tell me about that text message. Like a group text message that I've said, no alerts, do not. It's so much.
Yeah.
No, I did.
But it keeps popping up like, hey, there's a new thing in this thing you told me not to tell you about. No, don't do that.
Do you want character sheets?
I'll take those back because we're pre-published and I'm super paranoid about.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, the only thing that seemed a little odd is a lot of the gifts, just the rules for them are a little undefined.
Yeah,
I
that's
imagine that'll
a
be
big part of the rule book. That's coming together.
But
I totally get that.
I really like the Powered by the Apocalypse stuff, and this does not hit a lot of the Apocalypse World derivatives. I've read a lot of them. Some I like, some I dislike, and the ones I dislike, this doesn't hit any of those buttons. Like it doesn't do any of the. Why are you doing Apocalypse World if you're not doing this?
Right. I've played most of the ones.
If you don't have the list of like the things that could go bad, why are you doing Apocalypse World?
Right.
I've played most of the published. I haven't actually played Dungeon World, but I've read it thoroughly, and then I didn't want to play it because of stuff